channel. Paid positions available. I'm going crazy. No, seriously though, if you have anything you are skilled at as far as, YouTube channel contributing and you would like to help out, there's all kinds of options. I do need some help, and you guys are the best people to ask because I love you guys, and I'm so glad that you're here tonight. Welcome everybody. I actually have a lot to go over, so I'm not going to go through everybody's, and say hello to everybody. But I'm so happy you're all here. And oh, I see John McSmith, and this is quite an event. John McSmith has been here twice in a row, actually 3 times in a row, because you were here for the live stream that I canceled because I had some bad news. That's awesome, John. So nice to see you and everybody else. Um, John is a, OG, and I haven't seen him for a while, so that's super special. But you guys are all super special. Yeah. Well, seriously, if somebody could put my email in chat, it's wattsobsession@gmail.com. So I've been, saying I need help. The channel's getting bigger for a really long time now. And I mean, I freaking really seriously need some help because I have my full-time career job. I'm a single mom. I have a gigantic house. I have 26 bunnies. And right now I'm dealing with my dad's law practice in the state after he passed in December. And it is, oh my God. I can't even, there's no word. So I do need help. I really, truly do. So if you're interested, please email me at wattsobsession@gmail.com. And then there's people like Nancy N who are just helpful by nature all the time. Hi, Nancy. It's always so wonderful you're here. I think Nancy and Joan and Cecile are our 3 longest running moderators. And I love them all and trust them like absolutely anything. So that's really a wonderful thing because that's hard to find on YouTube, right? Okay, so this evening we're going to be talking about a few things. We're going to be talking about everything having to do with the house that was built by Shannan and Chris Watts, built apparently by Shannan's design and under Chris's bank, as the deed to the house the mortgage was in his name, not Shannan's, just his. Apparently, for whatever reason, it just was like that. We don't need to go into that. That just opens up the door for you guys know what, and we don't need to go there right now because it's not what it's about. And as y'all know, Chris and Shannan live there. They have their first daughter, Bella, beautiful baby, sweet Bella, who will always have a special place in my heart. And then that little firecracker, Cece, and they lived there until the lives of pregnant Shannan with little baby unborn Nico in her belly. She was 15 weeks pregnant. Shannan herself, Bella, and Celeste, when their lives were tragically taken on the morning of August 13th, 2018. It is the position of this channel that is when their lives were taken. I don't believe in safe houses and, kind of all that stuff, and they were just hidden somewhere and, then done away with a few days later. We also don't believe in psyops here. It's actually the one thing that I really do not like to speculate about, because I don't think there's any basis for speculation. Speculation, I think, is great. There's a place for it for sure. My preference is that speculation, well, at least when it's in this space, in this channel space, is grounded in fact and evidence and data if possible. I love a good pie chart, but if you just have a good idea and want to throw it out there, it's cool. But to say that this never happened when we know that the Watts and the Rusek families are grieving so and are in so much, pain and agony, and also the friends of, Shannan, and it happened. We know it happened. Okay. So we're going to talk about the house and the Miller family. And we all know that house is up for sale again. And, I'll just let some pictures of that house run in the background while I'm talking, so we don't have to do that separately, because I really do have so much to cover. And I finally recognize something about myself. I never allow, and it's more like this. I always pack too much intention into what I'm doing in a live stream, and I'm like, oh, it's going to be 90 minutes, and it ends up being like 4 hours. So, let me just play this in the background here. Hold up, bring it into the stream. I hope everyone's doing great tonight. How are you guys all doing? Anyone have anything special going on? Marriages, divorces, everyone file their taxes if you're here in the States. I didn't file my taxes till April 15th. I had never previously filed my taxes any later than March 6th. I know exactly when I file them every year. That just goes to show what a heck of a year it has been for me. Whoops. So that's not what I want to share. Let me stop screen, present a new screen, share that screen, press share. This is what I'm doing behind the scenes. It's really cumbersome. Here we go. Okay, so this is what the house looks like now. Sorry, these are not high resolution photos. They're just something I grabbed and Then I ran them, and then I realized they were totally not high res, but, c'est la vie. No, and I can't really do anything about that. Okay. Um, ooh, okay, yeah. So, yes, I need all of that, honey bun. Yes, yes, and we also need to talk merch. Honey bun, let's talk this weekend, okay? Yeah, because I'm doing channel merch, and honey bun is an artiste designer is gonna do some of that. I just got to move on it. That's all. Just got to move on it. Bother me. Oh, let's see here. So someone said they okay. Let me back up. Oh, that was a really short video. Damn it. So anyway, the Watts bought the house for $600,000, and I'm sorry, they bought it for 300 and change. I don't remember the exact figure. I know someone in that chat does. Go ahead and throw it out. And it sold to the Miller family in 2022 for $600,000. It is now on the market for $775,000. Somebody in chat just said that there's no way that they're going to get that price for it, but people that I have talked to who I know the real estate market or say they know the real estate market in that area of the world, um, all but one person that's coming to mind. I mean, I haven't been taking like a scientific poll of it, but I've just been chatting casually with people, said that they think that they're going to be able to get that price in the market the way it is right now, particularly in that part of Colorado. I was chatting with somebody here in chat just a bit before the live stream started. I went out to Colorado for, I don't know, I haven't been there in maybe 3 or 4 years, but I was going out there about every year to go snowboarding, skiing. I do both, like in like the kind of like Vale area. And no, the Vale area, but I went to a couple different places around there. And, just the ride from the Denver airport out to, wherever we were staying, you could tell year over year, like many places, that there was less natural land, more development, sometimes overdevelopment. And it's really noticeable, I think, in that area because it is so absolutely naturally beautiful. I mean, there's just this range of terrain is gorgeous. And um, so that is happening, which obviously indicates that people are wanting to move into that area, perhaps also that the population is going up, probably both. But anyway, real estate cannot hold its water, as we know. So prices are going up, and a lot of people who claim that they know what they're talking about say that they do believe they're going to get that price or right around there. So let me grab just a couple other comments. So I'm going to tell you about some things that I learned about the Miller family, why they did or did not put the house up for sale. This is verified information. I can also debunk some things that have been going around out there because I love to debunk things that are debunkable. And well, not just debunkable, but debunkable because they're not actual. And it's okay if you just innocently say something's not actual, but if we can turn it into factual, we like to do that. So, and did you guys see the social media posts that the Millers responded to, and did you see their responses? I'm wondering, have you guys all seen that? Or has anyone seen that? Who has seen that? If you have seen the Miller responding to social media posts, please put one in chat. I just want to kind of get an idea. I'm going to go through it anyway, probably, but I'm just wondering who's been aware of that. Oops, where are we going here? Sorry, I'm trying to get to current chat. Hey, Bubba, how are you doing? I just happened to see you say, hey, Kelly. Yeah. Good gosh. Okay. Oh, Sherry, my girl, thank you so much for the super chat. You are such a doll. How are you doing? Did you get my email the other day, sweetie pie? I don't file my taxes because I oppose genocide. I feel ya. I wish I didn't have to file my taxes. I oppose genocide as well. But here's the thing. Well, I don't really want to get into personal stuff, but yeah, the government keeps insisting that I do or they hunt me down. I don't know about you, but let's see. Oh, lots of unspecial shit happening, of course, every day. That's what life is, right? Unspecial shit. Okay, we'll have a bunny break later. Hey, sis, how are you? Sis, let's have a bunny break later. What do you say? Oops. You take this down for a bit. Okay, let's see. Caroline Smith says, I live here in Colorado and a house of that size is going for 1.3 million. Thank you, Caroline. That's really thank you for letting us know about that. It's always great to hear from locals. Are you also in Colorado? The picture kind of looks the same. But anyway, I'm being nosy now. But hi, welcome. Glad you're here. Thank you. Chris says that the Watts originally bought that house or built that house rather for $390,000. So, I mean, by the time it sold, it was 6 or 7 years. So, I mean, that's a big, that would be a big return if it was, bought and sold by the same party. The Ramsey house went way below value. Yeah, I think that was a little bit of a different situation. I think that was in an already capped out neighborhood market, not meaning market in like the time continuum, but in the space continuum in that area. Do you think? That's kind of what I had heard about that, but let's see. Oh, thank you so much. Let's see. Trisha, is it Trisha or I hope I'm not saying that wrong. Or Tracy. Let me know how you say your name, honey. Says, hello, Kelly. I've been watching your channel for a long time. I respect and appreciate your work. This is my first time in live chat. Awesome. I'm so glad you're here. Everybody make sure you welcome our first time friends and everyone else, of course. I'm really glad you're here. That's awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that so much. Oh gosh, Turquoise says, check out Kelsey Barrett's townhouse cost. Very, very small. How much is that? Yeah, do you guys all know Kelsey Barrett? We're not going to go into that right now, but oh God, guys, that was one of the cases that I don't even want to talk about it, honestly. When they describe the crime scene of that case and like everything in the cleanup, oh my God, there was something about it that just made me feel so ill. I was like, I don't ever want to hear about that again. I'm never going to talk about it. Every time I think about it or I see, Kelsey Barrett or, it literally makes me feel sick to my stomach. I think it was how far they found teeth from the site of impact. And just, I couldn't, that was a tough one for me. Okay. So I see if you saw the post or not. Let's see. So a lot of you didn't. Okay. That'll be really interesting then. Gosh, I'm really behind on chat here. I'm sorry if I'm missing any important chats. Wow. Are you serious? Colleen Casey says, I'm offering a free trip to Holland for anyone that can help me document, organize, and record my 4-year battle against a drug network involving cops, politicians, but my home is a construction site. Are you serious, Colleen? What? You got to tell me more about that. And if you're serious, send me an email with the information. I mean, maybe I could help you find someone. If you're serious, we can talk about it. Kelsey Barrett's townhouse is very small, going for $270,000. Well, I know, guys. When I lived in Philadelphia, I mean, I sold this condo I moved here first, but I sold it about 7 or 8 years ago. Guys, the condo, it was literally straight up, listen, 800 square feet, 800 square feet, 800. I sold it for 238,000, 800 square feet. It's insane how the value that you can assign to real estate, right? So, yeah. Oh, wow. So Caroline says, born and raised in Arvada, Colorado, in Conifer, Colorado. Now can send house on market if needed. Can send house on market. You can sell your house on market if you need to. Is that what you mean? That's awesome. Thank you so much for that information. We're going to get to the Miller Post. And we're going to talk about some other things having to do with the 2825 Saratoga Trail, the Watts house, now the Miller house. Now, I have a video coming out. It's definitely coming out tomorrow morning. I really want it to come out today, but I finished it basically just as the live was going to start in like half an hour. And it was kind of silly to start a live and upload a video at the same time. However, I think some of the information I'm talking about in that video parallels what we're talking about now. I'm going to play just the beginning part of it to kind of preview it. I think the video is like 45 minutes long. I'm not going to play I'm going to play like the first 10 minutes of it. It's going to touch on a number of things we are going to talk about now, including the paranormal, including the actual crime, evidence of both. And the video that's coming out tomorrow, guys, is who was in, what's up, everything about the Watts basement having to do with the crime, and specifically who was in the basement and how do we know that. So what I am presenting in that video is something I have been thinking about forever, have wanted to talk about for a long time, and actually got confirmed information about. Okay, let me explain it because I don't think I'm going to say this right. But the topic itself is very sensitive. It's hard to hear. So there's just a warning for you right now. And there will be warnings in the video too. And especially when I first started this channel, I was like, I would never, ever present material that's something that sensitive. I don't think I felt confident enough to, didn't know if I should, still don't think I've got that all like figured out. But at this point in time, I think for a number of reasons, it is time to present this material. So, okay, I'm just going to preview this video a little bit here, and then I'm going to think about how I'm going to say what I'm going to say, because I have to be a little bit careful, because there's information that I learned from somebody who has come out on their own and spoken about what they learned directly from Chris Watts, but I do not have permission from that person to say who they are at this time. I have requested that permission, but I've not heard back from them, so I just have to be careful because I don't want to do anything really crappy like that. But hopefully, I don't know. I haven't heard from them in a long time. I mean, like on YouTube or anything like that. So I'm not sure what's up. All right. Nancy, I may have told you about this. I'm trying to think. You might be the only person here that I told about this a long time ago. Is required. The Watts basement, Chris Watts' basement. It is a location that has been at the center of speculation by many for a number of reasons.
I didn't know what was going on.
Did you go down to the basement? I thought the basement door opened.
Yeah, the door is open, but yeah.
Something's upsetting us here. We will talk about that infamous basement, the reasons people speculate something nefarious and horrific may have happened in that basement, what Chris Watts himself had to say about that basement, including something that those of you who have more recently begun to follow this case probably do not know. There are a good number of people who speculate that Nicole Kessinger was in the basement at the time of the murders or after the murders in an effort to get rid of evidence. The question has long lingered. Was Nicole Kessinger, Chris Watts' former mistress, involved in this tragedy either before, during, or after the fact? Although the answer is still unknown, I am personally one of the people who believe there is more than enough evidence to show that Nicole Kessinger played some criminal part in this nightmare. As I pointed out many a times, for God's sake, she says so herself.
You had read some newspaper articles on the 13th and the 14th that regarded this case. You had also had a conversation with Chris at some point during the day on Monday. And on Tuesday, because of what you found, specifically what you said was, and don't let me put words in your mouth, but you found out that his wife was pregnant.
Yes.
And you did not know that prior. And you found that out via the newspaper articles, and that caused you concern.
So I removed it.
What did that cause you to do with your phone, though?
Oh, what? When I deleted those? I was just kind of grossed out by him, to be honest with you. I was just like, I don't know what's going on right now, but you just lied to me, and I don't want to see this come over my phone anymore. So I removed it. It was the hurt that made me delete it. And then it was the lie that made me start questioning everything else he'd been telling me for the last few days.
And that's when you decided to come forward.
Yes.
Okay.
Although I believe that Nicole Kessinger should be charged with obstruction of justice and whatever charges are found to be legitimate after a proper and thorough investigation of this crime is done that includes an investigation into her role before, during, or after the murders. I am simply unsure if she was in the basement the night of August 12th and or going into the early morning of August 13th when Shannan arrived home at 1:48 a.m. from her delayed flight back to Denver from Arizona. The hard evidence we have showing Nicole Kessinger was at or very near the Watts home during the time that matters is at 6:16 a.m. phone ping in Frederick, Colorado, placing her phone right near the house. Its location her phone had rarely registered ever, as far as we know. And as far as we know, it had never registered during the early morning hours. We also know the event immediately preceding the 6:16 a.m. ping, according to her phone records, is the end of the mysterious 111-minute phone call on Sunday evening, the evening before the murders that went from 9:28 p.m. to 11:19 p.m. The call that was significantly longer than any other call between Nicole Kessinger and Chris Watts, and it's also the call that is significantly longer than any other call that appears on her phone records for a period of 3 months. Must have been a big deal. It was a really long call. Now, please note this entire video is not going to be about Nicole Kessinger and asking the question, was she in the basement or not? This is just one of the pieces of the puzzle, one of the possibilities having to do with the Watts basement in the evening of August 12th, going into the early morning of August 13th, that has been posed by many people out there for a number of reasons. And we are going to go over exactly why that is. We're going to take a turn and talk about Sherilyn Cato's book, Letters from Christopher. And we're going to read some letters that Chris Watts actually sent this author, Sherilyn Cato. Now, I must say that Sherilyn Cato's books have come into question. People wonder, are they authentic? Some people say that a vast portion of one of her books was taken directly from the discovery. People have questioned if the words that she says are from Chris Watts really are or not. So I'm just going to tell you this. We do know that Sherilyn Cato did talk to Chris Watts. She spoke with him over the phone and she visited him. We can tell this from the prisoner visitation logs and the list of people that Chris was allowing to visit him at Dodge Correctional Facility. Chris Watts himself also talked about the fact that he did speak with Sherilyn Cato. With that being said, aside from the letters that Christopher Watts wrote Sherilyn Cato, which is really great record of what was said, Sherilyn did not record the phone calls with Chris Watts. She did take notes during her phone calls or when she visited him at the prison, but still, much of what she tells us is very difficult to verify. The things that I like to focus on are the words from Chris Watts directly through his letters, and then things that can be corroborated by other pieces of evidence, facts, or things that we know to be true. Nicole Atkinson was Shannan's. Now, I do want to say what I am going to be talking about in this video and the conclusion that we're going to lead to, it does refer to Sherilyn Cato's book and, stories about what Chris Watts had said. While I recognize much of that as being maybe undefined as something that Chris said or something that she is theorizing and maybe not labeled in such a way, or maybe just a little off base or however you want to say it, there are a few certain things that when put into, put into the track along with the next piece of the puzzle that has been verified as fact and the previous piece of the puzzle but verified as fact, all fits together just perfectly. And the ultimate conclusion that I'm going to come to in that video that we will discuss, not tonight though, because the video is not coming out till tomorrow, is fully evidence-backed by vetted sources. Close friend. And when I say vetted, I mean vetted. Not like I checked to see if they have a Facebook page. Shannan met Nicole Atkinson because when her mother, Sandy, and her father, Frank, lived in Colorado with Chris Watts, Bella, and, Shannan was pregnant with Cece. Her mother, Sandy, worked in a salon, and she worked with Nicole Atkinson. It is known that Shannan and Nicole Atkinson did not hit it off right away. They did not become friends right away. And when they did become friends was when Shannan convinced Nicole Atkinson to get involved with Thrive. After that happened, they became very close very quickly. It is Nicole Atkinson who became alarmed after she dropped Shannan off at her house at 1:48 a.m. in the early morning hours of August 13th. She knew that Shannan had a mid-morning prenatal doctor's appointment.
Hi, Cece. My name's Nicole, and I'm calling because I'm concerned about a friend of mine. I dropped her off at her house at 2 in the morning last night because we were out of town together, and we were on the way back from the airport, and she's having issues, and she's pregnant, and I haven't been able to get a hold of her this morning, and I've gone to her house, and her car's there, and stuff like that, but she won't answer the door, she won't answer phone calls, she won't answer text messages, and I'm just really, really concerned, and she had a doctor's appointment this morning, and she didn't go to it. And
she also knew that the 13th was supposed to be Bella's first day of kindergarten.
And then he said that she went on a play date with her other two daughters, but like if she went on a play date, they're both in car seats. Why would she not take her car?
Nicole Atkinson had just spent a long weekend with Shannan in Arizona for a Thrive business trip. And this was right after the 6 weeks that Shannan spent in North Carolina, when she started to watch her relationship unravel as her husband distanced himself from her dramatically. And it was over this past weekend when they were in Arizona that Shannan on Saturday night got the alert for the credit card that Chris used when he went out on his date with Nicole Kessinger to the Lazy Dog restaurant. And he said he had a beer and a salmon dinner, and the credit card was charged for a total that was much more than one beer and one salmon dinner would cost. After learning this information on that Arizona trip is when Shannan and her friends knew with some degree of certainty that Chris Watts was being unfaithful to Shannan.
We were out of town for work, and we flew in last night. Our flight got delayed, and I dropped her off at her house at 2 in the morning. She's 15 weeks pregnant, and she wasn't feeling well over the weekend, and she was very distraught and out of the sorts because her and her husband are having issues.
There are people, mostly YouTube channels, who have theorized that Nicole Atkinson did not in fact go home after she dropped Shannan off at 1:48 a.m. and she stayed the night in the Watts basement, and that she actually kind of knew what was really going on with Shannan, and this 911 call was staged, like she was part of the crime. Chris Watts has not implicated anyone else in this crime, and many believe, including myself, that his intense feelings for Nicole Kessinger would be enough reason for him to protect her, at least for now. But we know that Chris Watts was not in love with Nicole Atkinson. They weren't even particularly close. So let's take a look at what Sherilyn Cadle shared with the world about what Chris Watts had to say about Nicole Atkinson through his letters to Sherilyn Cadle. As far as Nicole Atkinson goes, I have nothing against her. She spent a lot of time with Shannan and knew that Shannan was upset at me and probably told her about the marital problems. When she didn't hear from Shannan the next day, she knew something was up, and she knew that Shannan always had her phone. Her actions at my house were out of a concerned friend who believed I had done something or caused my wife's depression over that weekend. She caused the police to come back a few minutes after they left to search my house and called up the news crews to come the day after. She was always nice to me, and when she came over, as I said, she was just a concerned friend. The YouTube issues I know nothing about. Nicole was a reserved woman that Shannan encouraged to put herself out and have her sell more Thrive. Nicole wasn't as shy as people think, but she wasn't outgoing as Shannan was. And when it came to direct sales, Shannan was her teacher. So after being home for only 2 days from North Carolina, Shannan spent the early morning hours of the 10th to the late evening hours of the 12th with her friends in Arizona at a Lavelle conference. You can see from the text and discovery how upset and distraught Shannan truly was, and that her friends were trying to console her, including Nicole Atkinson. Great friends. We all want to have friends like that, like Nicole Atkinson. Now, although we don't necessarily believe everything that Chris Watts says, and it's wise to be reserved in taking everything that Sherilyn Cadle says at face value, in this case, What Chris Watts has to say in his letter to Sherilyn and what she tells the world about Chris Watts said about Nicole Atkinson aligns perfectly. Nicole Atkinson was not spending the night in the basement at the Watts house with knowledge of what happened the evening from the 12th to the 13th. She is just a good friend who is concerned about Shannan. Let's just move on from that. Yeah, topic closed. So I'm going to be reading you another part of letters from Christopher, and I do want to warn you that we're going to start to approach with each other. The rest of the night. Okay, all right. I'll read that part here, but again, and then it's gonna be it. And then again, this video is gonna drop tomorrow. Please watch it. It's gonna. I think it's super interesting. It's been a really long time coming. This is one of these videos where it's information I've been sitting on for a while. I don't think it's, in my opinion, it's not quite as big as like exposing Nutgate, because I was sitting on that for a while and I had that really, it's a tight case. It's closed. It's the, I know what's up with that. But still, this is information I've been sitting on for a while, and I hope, I can't wait to hear what you say about it. And to the Lord, essentially, before, cause yourself here, not spending the night from that. Okay. From Christopher, and I do want to warn you that we're going to start to approach the topics video in that I need to attach that trigger warning to, so to speak. This really is very difficult to hear content. And so if that might be upsetting to you, maybe it would be time to just step away, and you can think about if you want to watch this later, it's going to be available. But please, please don't, cause yourself anxiety or stress that you can't handle, because this kind of stuff does cause us anxiety and stress. It just does. So the beginning part of this letter just begins with some niceties and some small talk and reassuring Sherilyn Cadle of Chris's deep faith and pious devotion to the Lord, essentially, before he gets into some information according to him about the investigation. He says, dayroom time is when we all can use the phone, watch TV, play cards, other games, and talk with each other. The rest of the night I spend reading or writing until I fall asleep, sometimes around 11 p.m. As you can see, I pray, read, and write a lot. My faith of the Lord is the steady, it's my stability. He gives me to spread his word, consumes most of my day, and I love it. The Lord's presence lets me rest in peace, knowing that his grace and love surround me. You say the canine dogs went crazy in one spot in the basement, and I can't think of a physical reason why. I went downstairs that morning to the basement to get some trash bags, but that's it. I know dogs can see, feel things humans can't, so maybe they felt the evil spirits that were in the house. That's the only reason I can come up with why the dogs picked up anything in the basement. So here we hear a theme. It's a theme of evil, of possession, of energy lingering in the house or within Chris Watts himself that took over. Sorry for no video.
Yesterday when you were talking, and again, this is before we kind of got to this moment today, you mentioned that we were talking, you said, I don't know where they are, I don't know where they are, and then you said something along the lines of, whatever happened to them, this act of pure evil. What did that mean?
It's this the evil that I saw when I walked behind Shannan and she was on top of CC. And I felt evil for what I did to Shannan.
Okay.
Like at the end of the conversation, it was just like, that's what happened. I just wish I could have let go.
Me too, Chris.
Did it seem like it was that long? 2 to 4 minutes? How long did it seem for you?
It almost kind of felt like it was longer almost, because it felt like time was standing still. It's kind of like I just saw my life just disappearing before my eyes, but it just like I couldn't let go. It was like somebody else, like if you picture somebody else around you, holding your hands, holding you, keep you from not not letting go.
Okay, so all right. So I'm just gonna load in another video. We're gonna just take a step away from specifically the Watts case to a different case that in a lot of ways, at least as far as how this perpetrator behaved, there are some parallels to Chris Watts. There are some really graphic things here. I tried to pick a portion where there weren't any because I didn't go and edit this myself, but just please know that and just, yeah, know that. Okay.
Murders to the police around 6 p.m.
He came to
This is the Amityville murders. Okay, so we're talking DeFeo, the murderer in Amityville, New York, not too far from me.
opened the door and he was screaming, "Come on, help me. Somebody shot my mother and father." And everyone ran out of the bar and that was it. They all took off. No, I had to stay. I was tending off. They all jumped in his car and took off.
Today, police combed the DeFeo's handsome three-story house for clues while divers explored the backyard swimming pool for the still unfound murder weapon. Police have been questioning the son, Ronald, and now say he is being, quote, safeguarded. Investigators say without explanation that they now feel young DeFeo was in the house at the time of the murders, but they're not yet considering him a suspect. And so forth.
No suspect at this time. We have no indication of the motive at this time.
What about Ronald DeFeo, the son, the surviving son?
Ronald is being safeguarded by the Suffolk County Police at this time.
Why safeguarded?
Why? Because the 6 members of the family dead, and we don't know why, and he's the sole remaining member.
Is he also a suspect?
He's not a suspect at this time.
Few people in the neighborhood knew the family well, but those who did described them as close-knit.
I think they were just very sweet, very religious people, very family-minded people. And that's about all I could say. Very good, very generous, this type. Very close with their children.
There's one element in the usual mass murder story which seems to be missing from this case. There's no sense of fear in this community, no feeling of a mass murderer on the loose. People we talked to seem to feel that whatever was the motive for this crime, it had something to do with the family. It's not something that's going to return to bother anyone else. In Amityville, Long Island, Phil Barno, News Center 4.
Ronald Jr. claimed that it was the work of a mafia hitman and that there were 2 other accomplices with the hitman. Ronald Jr. said when the hitman showed up that morning to his house that he put a gun to his head and made him kill his family members one by one. It wasn't long, though, before his alibi started to fall apart. Ronald eventually broke down under interrogation and admitted to killing his whole family. The supposed hitman had an alibi that he was out of town during the murders. Ronald confessed that once I started, I just couldn't stop. It went so fast. Now, Ronald's story has altered many times. It is really hard to tell what really happened. And depending on the interviewer and what Ronald believed that the interviewer wanted to hear, the story that night changed every time.
DeFeo's seen him. My
Sound
father,
familiar?
he's the cause of all of this.
Every time he talked to a different investigator or interviewer, the story changed depending on what he thought that person wanted to hear. Sounds like our CW Chris Watts.
The only way to get rid of him, he's got to go back to hell.
I lived in that house all those years. I never saw anything really peculiar or strange. Never once.
Anybody buys that house and got kids and move in there, come on, man. You really got to be something wrong with you.
I could never live in the Amityville house. No effing way. The Watts house, I don't know. I'd have to physically arrive there, assuming I could afford it, which I cannot, by the way, and see how it felt. But I know I could not live in the Amityville house.
One of his claims was that he was possessed by Satan, and that is why he did what he did. He also claimed to be in the basement during the time of the murders, getting high and watching a war movie. And when the war movie was over, a black shadow person came into the room to hand him the gun. So with his ever-changing story of that night, It's hard to believe any of the stories Ronald told. Needless to say, Ronald Jr. was found guilty. He was sentenced to 6 consecutive sentences of 25 years to life on December 4th, 1975.
Amityville horror goes way back before the Lutz family, who moved in there and bought the house later and were fled 28 days later. It goes back 6 months before the DeFeos were murdered. Mr. DeFeo went up to Montreal, Canada. He went to a shrine where many miracles had occurred. A lot of people don't know this. He went to that shrine and he brought back from there a priest, an exorcist, who said masses in the house. Why? If this was a hoax that was created by the Lutz family, why 6 months before this man was murdered and his family was an exorcist in that house? While the priest was saying a mass and performing the exorcism rituals, candles were blowing out, doors were opening and closing. There were footsteps all around the house. Ronald DeFeo, who was the murderer of his family, fled the house. He didn't stay there. He did not want to stay there while the priest was in that house. What caused him to leave? Obsession? Possession? Who can say?
About a year after the DeFeo family murders, in the same home of the DeFeos' residence on Ocean Boulevard, would become the dream home of a new family, the Lutz.
We first saw the house in the fall.
A la the Millers, right? Listen to what happens. If you guys don't know this, it's freaking insane.
Of 1975. Went over with the broker. She said, I wanted to show you what the other half of Amityville lived like.
Pulling up to it, she started to tell us things that the house had as far as the number of bedrooms.
When we walked in the house, Kathy looked around right from the foyer and just started smiling. She really fell in love with the house. It was very obvious. And we walked through, it had 6 bedrooms and a boathouse for our boat and 2-car garage and a heated pool and a basement on the water, which was very rare.
All the things that we talked about, we found in one place. For George and myself, we could bring more things together within this marriage. A new home, space for everybody, space for growth.
Now, if you've ever wondered if a residence can hold residential energies from a traumatic event of its past, the house in Amityville would surely be a classic case of a haunting. Newlyweds George and Kathy Lutz finally found their dream home. Kathy had 3 children before meeting and marrying George. The Lutz family consisted of 5 family members at the time. The stepfather, George Lutz, the mother, Kathy Lutz, and the kids, Daniel Lutz, Christopher Lutz, and Missy Lutz. After looking at the house, they were informed of the home's history. But despite its murderous past, the Lutz decided that they loved the house and they wanted it to be theirs no matter what. They couldn't pass up on the bargain price of $80,000.
And she explained to us about the DeFeo massacre and wanted to know if that would change our view on the house at all.
We discussed it among the 5 of us, and there was no problem. It was, it was unfortunate that that had happened there. It was reflected in the price, of course, but we weren't superstitious, thinking that there was anything wrong that way.
There was a sign outside the front of the house when we first looked at it. It said High Hopes. And when I look now, those same high hopes were within us.
Moving into a home with a past like that didn't bother the Lutz very much. But never in their wildest dreams did they foresee the events that were going to unfold over the next 28 days. Their dream home was about to become their nightmare. As they were first moving into the home, Kathy called a local priest.
As is common with many Catholic families, Mrs. Lutz asked her parish priest to stop by and bless the house. This blessing began in the sewing room and seemed to set off a chain reaction which would jeopardize the lives of everyone involved. Because of criticism later leveled by other church officials, the priest has never before talked to anyone in the media. In Search Of was able to locate him, and he agreed to tell us his story, but only if he could remain anonymous.
I was blessing the sewing room. It was cold. It was really cold in there. And I thought, gee, this is peculiar. Because it was a lovely day out. And it was winter, yes, but it didn't account for that kind of coldness. I also sprinkling holy water. And I heard a rather deep voice behind me saying, "Get out." It seemed so directed toward me that I was really quite startled. I felt a slap at one point on the face. I felt somebody slap me, and there was nobody there.
Yeah, 28 days. They were only there for 28 days. Damn.
Strange events also affected the priest who blessed the house. He discovered blisters were festering on his hands.
I went to the doctor for it, yes. And he couldn't explain it. He thought it might be caused by anxiety, and of course that's feasible.
Blisters on your hand from anxiety?
But I don't think I'm given over to psychosomatic responses.
He called the Lutzes to warn George and Kathy. Noise interference prevented any communication.
Kathy?
He could never get through.
Hello.
Oh, wait a minute. Anaphylaxis says the Lutz later admitted that their story was untrue. I had never heard that, Anaphylaxis. Arr! Thank you for telling us, though, but I never heard that. Well, I'm going to just for another couple of minutes believe that I didn't read that because I want to be scared. No, I don't know if I want to be this. Well, I've already watched this a couple times today, so it's not scary as when I watched it the first time. Thank you, Anaphylaxis.
It wasn't until much later that we learned what it was that had happened to him while he was doing that. He did stop us before leaving and say to us that not to spend too much time in that sewing room. For some reason, he felt uncomfortable there.
Times when Father Ray would attempt to call us, and the connection again.
Wait a minute.
would
Yeah,
be-
wait. So the priest lied too? That's crazy. I mean, I grew up Catholic, but I have feelings about it and stuff. But it never even occurred to me, no matter how I felt about the religion, that a priest could possibly ever lie, unless it had to do with little boys. But we're not going to talk about that. Huh? Did the priest lie about it too? Who knows about this?
broken up with static.
When we first looked at the house, very first time, we noticed no flies anywhere in the house. Especially when you think back now, they were limited, in particular, to the sewing room, second floor. Same bedroom that Father Ray had asked us not to use as a bedroom. The longer we were in the house, the more flies there were in that room. I don't have an explanation for how or why, but that's where they were.
The paranormal events began to unfold as soon as the priest left. George and one of his stepsons, Daniel, witnessed the door to the boathouse open and slam shut repeatedly and with great violence. The family dog was really disturbed by this. His pen was right beside the boathouse. In an attempt to escape, he jumped over the fence of his pen, suspended above the ground by his lead, seemingly trying to hang himself. But they rescued the dog just in time. Now, George was a businessman, but as soon as he moved into the house, his attitude changed by becoming very ill-tempered and cranky towards his new family. Within a week of moving in, Kathy's hand had been touched by something unseen. George soon found himself waking up at 3 a.m. every morning and wasn't able to go back to sleep. That is what is believed to be around the same time that Ronald DeFeo carried out the murders a year prior. On another night, George was outside and looked up at his stepdaughter's Missy's bedroom. George said that he seen what looked like a pig with glowing red eyes staring at him,
Jesus.
knowing that his stepdaughter was supposed to be in bed asleep. George ran upstairs as fast as he could. Missy was asleep. He couldn't explain what he had seen. Daniel Lutz, George's stepson, he's now an older grown man, that recounted what he had seen that night in the window with George. And I quote, "It would have been what looked like a cartoon character of an angry pig with wolf-like teeth. When he and George went upstairs to investigate, they found a rocking chair moving back and forth."
Yeah, I'm sorry. That pig was like over the top before the rocking chair. Like, come on, God. That pig. If ever anything in this mortal world looked demonic, it was that pig.
By itself.
I saw eyes looking down at me from Missy's bedroom window when I would be coming back from the boathouse at night. I would run into the house, run upstairs, and there'd be nothing there. There would be times that Missy would be sitting on her bed talking, and you'd walk past, you'd see the rocking chair moving, but Missy was on the bed. There were a couple of times that we saw eyes from the outside looking into the house.
Not long after this incident, Missy started speaking about her new invisible friend named Jody. Missy went on to tell them that Jody was a pig, sometimes as big as a teddy bear and other times as big as a house.
The youngest of the 3 children was very candid about talking about her friends in Amityville, and what she was referring to would be this Jody the pig and like that would come in and sit on the rocking chair in her room and rock. To her, they were friends.
Now, keep in mind that when we go into a home, you know, these people are telling us these horrible stories, but we have to ourselves experience this before we accept it. Right. We have to see it. We have to feel it. We have to know it's there before we say, yes, this home is haunted. Mm-hmm. And this home was not haunted by anything human. No. It was inhuman. Many people ask us about that. It was inhuman, and then they say, well, people went in there later and lived there. Nothing ever happened to them. Well, who's to say that the house was not exorcised?
So George and Kathy both decided to try to bless the house themselves, and quickly heard voices telling them to please stop. That same night, things really geared up. George witnessed his wife's Kathy's face change with what looked like a 90-year-old woman.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And that would take hours to wear off. This apparently happened a few times, with Kathy's mother even being a witness to it. One of the things that happened, no matter what, George couldn't get warm. So he stayed by the fireplace and kept it going.
He became obsessed with how much firewood there was. And then would there be enough to keep burning? That he would be continually going about the fireplace, checking the fire.
This is when they saw a demonic face in the fire looking back at them. George reported hearing what sounded like doors being ripped off the hinges, and when he would run downstairs, nothing would be disturbed. Even reports of cloven hooves in the snow. A green gelatin-like stuff coming from the walls.
In the beginning, George and Kathy would feel the psychic cold throughout all the rooms. No matter how many logs they'd throw on a fire, it was icy cold. That's because it's a psychic cold, and the cold is being drawn. The heat from the bodies of the people in that house is being drawn, and that heat is going to be used as an energy fuel source for the spirits in that house. So they'd feel the psychic cold. They'd hear magic whispering, voices throughout the hallways. At night,
Yes, one moment, please. Oh, that looks scary. That looks like all scary stuff. It looks so scary, guys.
Amityville house sits was infested by demons. Tribal enemies and those said to be possessed by evil spirits were left to die on the land and then buried face down, cursed to stare for all of eternity into the darkness. Another legend about the Amityville house land dates all the way back to the Salem witch trials of the late 1600s. A man named John Ketchum. It's said he was forced out of Massachusetts for practicing witchcraft. He set up residence on or near the spot of the Amityville house.
Now, I have to tell you that I have a friend who is a history professor who claims that this Ketchum story or whatever it is, he claims that there is solid historical evidence supporting this particular story, this Ketchum story. That's what I was trying to get to here. And he's like all business too. He's not like when he said that, it really, really made me think and look into it and try to poke holes in it. And, he had an answer for everything. I honestly don't remember what they all are. It was a while ago we had this conversation, but I can ask him if he'll refresh me on it if you're interested.
House. It's said that he continued his devil worship up until the day that he was buried somewhere on the property. But him fleeing Salem over practicing witchcraft on the land has never been verified.
This is where the Shinnecock Indians had an enclosure.
Yes.
That's where it all started, with the Shinnecock Indians. They had an enclosure right there where they put the sick, the mad, and the dying. Demonic spirits, evil spirits, are drawn to the sufferings of human beings. And this already had an aura of disaster about it.
John Ketchum was the man who built a small cottage right there where the Amityville home is at the present time. And after or prior to his death, he had said that he wanted to be buried on that land. Now, he was ousted from Salem for his witchcraft practices. So he didn't have
Okay,
exactly a
so
good
all right. So we're gonna move past that. We watched more of that than I was anticipating, but it seemed like you guys were into it. So, okay, so we don't know. I can tell you that I've shared this story before. I'm gonna try to briefly share it again. It's hard to share it briefly, but the long and the short of it is this. So I told you about the crazy paranormal Chris Watts experience I had with the rings, a couple weeks ago, and after that, I actually this is what I said when I was going to do this last week was going to be my last video on this kind of topic. And it probably is for a little while because I was having just really, I mean, it could have been, I psyched myself out. I get that. But after that live stream, it wasn't that night. It wasn't the next night. I think it was 3 nights later. I woke up and I had this nightmare, and I woke up. It was one of those nightmares where you wake up in kind of a cold sweat. Like, I was like panting, like I had to catch my breath as though I was running. Obviously, I wasn't. I was sleeping, and it was the eeriest freaking nightmare. And it was just so scary. And there were some people I was interacting with, but at the end, there were 2 children I was interacting with, and just before I woke up, the one looked up and then the other one looked up, and it was Bella and Cece. Oh my God, guys. And I can't even describe to you like how the fear instilled in me. I couldn't describe like the vibe of the nightmare. Now, yes, I understand. I have this channel called What's the Obsession. I do a lot of studying this case, making videos about it, talking about it, everything ever, obsessing about it, hence the channel name. So maybe it was my own psyche that put them in my dreams. I get that totally. So at 3 days after, that live stream where I was telling you about the weird Chris Watts experience I had, and we were talking about this too, and possibly my internal clock made me do this as well. I don't know how it could have, because I can't even wake up when my freaking own alarm goes off. I'm supposed to be at work at like 8:30. I slept the other day till 10. I just I don't like to get up in the morning. I've always been that way. Sorry if anyone I work with is watching right now. And So anyway, that one night when I woke up with a nightmare, I woke up, I had to get up and get a drink of water. Went to my kitchen. Guess what time it was? Freaking 3:01 a.m. I was like, "Oh no, please, 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 please. Not here we go." No, 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 no. We're not going to start this crap. No. So I eventually went back to bed. You're not more, yeah, I know. Don't like the mornings, man. And then the next night, I think it was 4 nights straight. I woke up and it's always after 3. It's never like 2:57 or something like that. Between 3 o'clock and 3:06 a.m. for 4 consecutive nights. I noted it was 4 days just because it was kind of bugging me out. And then there was a night where I just slept through the whole night. I was like, whew, that was awesome. And, since I told that story about 2 weeks ago, probably half of the nights I have woken up between 3 and 3:06 a.m. Do not like it. I do not like the nightmares. I do not like the weird feelings. I do not think I think I've been like maybe going too far into this stuff, but I want to be complete in it. So, I saged my house and I'm going to continue to sage my house and I'm having a little blessing done next week after I'm done talking about this material and it just gets a little weird. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Audra says, I remember when you went live when your doorbell kept going off and no one was at the door. Yeah. Yep. It's crazy. Freaking crazy, crazy stuff. Um, No, with the girls, this just happened just recently, like in the past couple weeks. Yeah. Guys, it was, oh God, so scary. Um See, wait, someone here said Summer says, hi, Caroline says, in my opinion, it's haunted with the mom and the girls and Nico's spirit. See, I don't think that. I believe that, Shanann and Bella and Celeste and Nico's souls are set free, that they are, that only, they were like released from this mortal world, this physical world, and only the most wonderful, beautiful things are of their experience. However, you can explain that realm that none of us can really conceptualize. I do think that there is a presence in the Watts house. I do think that there is something strange going on in there. I've seen enough. I'm convinced. I mean, I am now a believer because I believe that the Watts house is possessed or something. Um, but I do not think it is anything, any part of Shanann, Bella, Celeste, or Nico. I think whatever it is that exists and lingers in that house and wants to have a hold on the house and the people who are in it and around it is completely like not of this earth that we can understand. It's not something that was born on earth, right? So I guess that's how we can say. Now, yeah. Oh, really? City Slicker said, I heard the longer you dig into the case, you will dream of them. Yeah, and I mean, and that does kind of make sense. Well, the author Kathleen McKenna Houston, who's a very good friend of mine, and myself, um, had very just in sharing one time realized we had very similar eerie, fucking weird experiences having to do with this case that we both were sensing was a little paranormal when neither of us were really like leaners in that direction. That was so similar. It's really quite crazy. Maybe she and I will talk about that sometime. So yeah. Yeah, Rebecca R says, I hate to say it, but I don't think the spirits in the house are the victims. Right. Right. Now, and there was another time in the last house I lived in Philadelphia before I moved here. I told you guys this story. I'm not going to go deep into it, so it's going to sound totally freaking nutballs, but I'll tell the whole story again sometime. But the long and the short of it is, weird stuff started happening, and I really thought it was in my head. I was really stressed. It was, I was thinking of moving back here to New York. There was just a lot of stress in my life. Some weird relationships. Um, One is of a nature I don't even want to disclose because not because I don't want to tell you guys, but people in my personal life, if they knew about it, it would just be I don't know. It's really fucked up. I don't know. I'm gonna have to see if I want to tell that or not. But you know, just weird stuff in my house. Oh gosh. One of the things was, where there was no cross breeze, my bedroom door would open and close. And at first, I could kind of hear creaking and I just thought it had to be cross breeze or whatever. And then it kept happening and it would kind of get louder, more dramatic. It would start to happen at like certain times, only at like these I don't know, only at certain windows of times. So, and again, I thought it was in my head. And then one time my son was in my bedroom. It was in the middle of the night. I don't know. He couldn't sleep. He was sleeping with me. He did that sometimes, but he sat up, like kind of propped his back up on the pillows and his eyes got really wide and he's like looking at the door. And I was like, honey, what's wrong? He goes, Mom, is someone in here? And I was like, no, 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 no. It scared me too when he said that, right? So I'm like, no, 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 no. And he's like, and I was like, no. And then he's like, Mom, he's like getting panicky, and he's like, is someone in here? And I said, no, honey, no one's in here. He's like, Mom, why does the door keep opening and closing? And I'm looking at the door and it's not opening and closing. But he's like, Mom, go check. And he insisted, and this went on for like, I don't know how long. It felt like a couple minutes that the door was slowly creaking open and closing back up. And we're both looking at the same door. And I promise you, that child saw that with his eyes in this physical world. The fear in his voice and on his face, he was way too young to be like a faker face like that. And he never did anything like that before. It was really creepy. It was shortly after that I did put the house up for sale. For that, and it was other, like I said, there was other things going on in the house, and there are other really weird things that happened. And I feel like if I tell you without a context, it's going to just sound like a dumb story. But here's what I found. When I was finally moving out, I went down in the basement. I hated that basement. It was a really raw basement. I never went down there. I'd put some things down there. I'd really want them, and I wouldn't go down there to retrieve them because I was too scared. If I did go down there, when I'd set foot on the floor down there, when I would turn around, I'd run back up the stairs, and I could absolutely positively feel something like on my back. Like, it was either like breath or touch or whatever. And I promise you, like it was something. It was just creepy as fuck. So anyway, I was down there in the middle of the day with two other people with all of the lights on and still not loving it at all. And we moved a box spring that was down there. Well, behind that box spring, etched in the like cement wall of the basement, we're talking etched, not just like drawn, but etched. Now the box spring was like in a like vertical position, so it was probably like taller than me, like 6 foot or whatever, however long a bed is. Okay, so we moved that, so it was probably like 6 foot, 6 foot pentagram, a 6 foot tall pentagram etched into the wall, into the stone of the basement of that house. And I was just like, I'm gonna get the fuck out of here and never come back. I didn't even stay a night in the house after that. My son and I stayed with my friend until we moved. It just was too much for me. Anyway. So back to the Watts. The Watts and the Millers' former residence. Let's see. Eyes wide shut is like disclosure. Sorry. Am I at current time here for the comments? Oh, I think I am. Okay. All right. So let's talk about the Millers. So let me just get a backdrop here that looks Miller-esque. So I'm going to tell you, oops. Watts can eventually stop watching and doing. Oh, wait. It was Gary Sabrosa. Mara says, hi, welcome. How are you? You got to finish that sentence. I'm like, oh no, what's the last part of it? Wow, I was typing and the chat went crazy and sent on its own. I was obsessed with the Watts case at the beginning. I eventually stopped watching and doing research. Last year, I started to look into what exciting. I can't wait to see. Hi, Crime Pod, sweetheart. How are you doing? The Millers, I don't, well, no, they have not moved out. Yeah, I'm so glad I got out too. Yeah. Well, I'll come back and see what the rest of your sentence is, darling. I want to know what you're up to, Mara. And Ara. All right, let me just hold just 1 second. Let me get a background here that is somewhat fitting. Utter, oh my God. I remember seeing a clown often through the glass of our front door. Oh, you saw a clown through the glass of your front door when I was very young. Never came in, but chewed my nails off. Oh no, you poor thing. Oh, and then Mara finishes us what she was saying. I was getting even more intuitive stuff than the last time I watched years ago. I see more now in the spirit realm. Yikes. Wow. Oh my God, Crime Pod from spine surgery. Everybody wish Crime Pod well, my darling. I didn't know you were having that done. How are you feeling? Oh, yes, Chris, I'm going to talk about this in a minute. So Chris says, I actually have heard that the Millers don't stay there anymore. Is that true, Kelly? They have a house 12 minutes away. All right, let me get into the Miller stuff here. Does anyone want to come up on panel while we're talking about this? I'm just going to give you that opportunity here if you'd like to. Chris, do you want to come up? Link to panel. And anyone else can too. Can pin that. If I can't, no, I can't. Link to panel. Oops. Where in Philly? That house that I lived in that I'm talking about was in Fishtown. So like North Philly, not as north as like Kensington, but moving in that direction. Yay, Chris is here. You never heard about Amityville, Stevie? Oh my gosh. What do you think, Stevie? Yes, Rebecca, thank you. Rebecca says Miller's moved out of the house and it's currently listed. Yes. So it sounds like some of you know some information about this. So I'm going to tell you everything I know and what I found out from somebody local and who has, I told you this last time, has a connection to the Miller family, both as adults, like parents, like they have a connection somehow. And I was asked to not say what that is. And also their children have a connection, the way children do, right? Maybe they play sports together. Maybe they dance together. Maybe they go to school together. Maybe they are planning to go to summer camp together. Maybe something like that. Maybe they go to Sunday school together, but I was asked to not talk about it. Okay, I'm going to bring Chris and Crime Pod up so I can get this stuff ready, and there'll be people up here too. Hey guys, how are you doing? Chris and Crime Pod, how's it going?
Hi.
Hi.
Hello. What's up?
Not much. How are you doing? Let me introduce you guys. So, and you to everybody. So, everybody, welcome. This is our friend Chris, like Chris.
Mhm.
Chris has a PhD in behavioral science.
Human behavior.
You tell him.
I have a PhD in human behavior and industrial organization psychology. And I moonlight on the side with lawyers writing jury questions and
You hear that,
prepping
Ann Taylor?
witnesses. That's what I'm saying. I think I was overserved that night, so thankfully StreamYard didn't work. But
You were
the
cracking me up. You were awesome.
the paranormal is not my zhuzh. Let me
Not
just
your
say.
yours. Well, yeah, so that's Chris's deal, and she's came up recently, and you guys all really enjoyed her. And as many of you know, I'm a behavioral therapist, so we have, kind of a similar background on things, and it's really kind of eerie how we tend to agree on so very much. And the great thing about Chris is, where I kind of like end the story, she actually can go a lot deeper into a lot of things. Like she's kind of really smart, guys. We're so happy she's here. And Crime Pod is amazing. Crime Pod also has a true crime channel, and I want her to come onto a live stream sometime soon when she's feeling better and heals as a featured guest. We also actually have a connection as well, but it's not of a pleasant nature. It's due to being being I can't think of a strong enough word, harassed
Bullied.
by the same jackass.
I thought you guys dated the same guy or something. I
In the
was
most
waiting for a juicy story.
vile way. No, that would be way too good a story.
I don't know. This story is kind of, I don't know. This story is it's yeah, it's pretty interesting if I do
Yeah,
say so
we're gonna
myself.
talk about it sometime. We both have a lot to tell, and we both have things to tell that haven't been told yet. Just when you guys think you heard it all, sometimes they're just things that are too horrible to, kind of bring back up to share with people, but maybe together we can find the courage to do so. And how are you doing, Crime Pod?
Rough. I'm really rough. I do not recommend this surgery. Oh my God.
Why did you have to get surgery on your spine?
My L4, my L5, and my S1. I have a degenerative disc disease. I have spinal stenosis, and then those 3 discs were injured. So I had to go in to get this one was an effusion. That's going to be my next one. I'm not looking forward to that. So this one was a discectomy.
Okay.
And it sucked really, really bad.
Oh
So
my
I'm
God,
just kind of
sorry.
healing from that. It sucks. It sucks. I don't have a PhD, but
Not
I
necessary,
do.
not necessary.
I am a degree holder. I'm a social worker in the mental health field, which I don't even know why
Awesome.
I'm on Watts Island. I feel like I need to
Right.
be sitting across from myself
I
sometimes, but
know. Well, I feel you on that. Jeez. Well, that's why we all have each other,
that's right. That's right.
Oh my goodness. So, well, what do you guys have to say so far before we start talking about the Millers and what I've learned about the Miller family, why they moved, what's going on with them, what is happening and what's not happening?
I jumped in kind of late, so take the lead. Go ahead.
Okay, you go ahead, Chris. You next. And then I'm getting something prepared for you guys. So I need one of you to talk. Go ahead, Chris.
So the only thing I know about the family that moved in is the 12-point bulletin that the purchaser put out maybe when they first moved in, and it left a pretty bad taste in everybody's mouth between them
Can you
and
tell the people about that?
so they got a lot of feedback that she was a Shannan fan. She was obsessed, that she dressed like her,
Mm-hmm.
that the birth order just so happened to be the
Okay.
same, and she posed the kids on the countertop.
Yeah.
And
And I'm going to read her response to all of that because she was smart enough to respond. I say that with great sarcasm.
yeah, some things you should just
But I understand
shut down.
too. I understand, in that moment, maybe you've had a bad day and it was just like the straw that broke your Miller wife back, and it's just like that happens and you do silly
Yeah,
things. I remember before
but maybe tell your realtor don't put it on a public Facebook page.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, so I feel it's so perhaps the realtor is more at fault on that. Well, let me read the response then, since we're going right into that. So, yeah, what happened was, the Miller family was under a lot of criticism and fire for a number of things. I mean, we knew that would happen. Here we are on Watts Island. As much as we are trying to restrain our unwell and insane here on the island in the nice asylum we built for them, every now and then they do escape and they do get their fingers on that keyboard. So it's probably our fault. I'm sorry. Watts Island, that is. So people were saying all of those things about her. So you're going to, be able to deduce exactly what those things were based on her response here. So this is how, Mrs. Miller, I don't know. I'm not going to I'm just going to call them Mr. and Mrs. You can easily find their first names, but I'm just going to keep it for now. It's just Mr. and Mrs. Miller. This is what she said. All right, here we go. Oops, hold it. I made a banner to scroll down at the bottom while I'm reading this so you know what I'm talking about. If you started getting off topic in chat, I'm just kidding, guys. Or if you're just coming in. So let me just pop that up. Where is it? statements from the Miller family to people on social media who were harassing them. Okay, so here's what she said. Number one, we have 2 girls and 1 boy, just like Shannan did. We do not have control of the birth order. We did not know Shannan before we had babies, and millions of other families have 2 girls and 1 boy in that order. Please stop calling us creepy for something completely out of our control. Our children's birth order had 0 to do with the decision to purchase this home. So that was the number 1 bullet point, as Chris referred to. Number 2, it's being said that I look like Shannan, dress like Shannan, and I'm not talking about me, Kelly. This is Miss Miller speaking. And I'm trying to be her. And the decision to buy the house is because I'm obsessed with her, like most of you criticizing me. Oh, I'm sorry. Like most of you criticizing me and making such ridiculous assumptions. I did not know her. I am another 32-year-old white girl in a small town in Colorado. We all wear leggings and cute shirts and try to style our hair. I have dressed the way I do for years. And I still have the same clothes from 10 years ago. Girl, I got the same clothes from 20 years ago. I've got something on you you don't have. I'm just kidding. So that was her second point. If I dress and look like her, so do most of the other moms I know at my age. They are obsessed with her too. And they're obsessed with her too. You saw a picture of me in one outfit and decided I was trying to be like her, like Shannan. Number 3. We are not the Miller family that Shannan was close to in North Carolina. He still lives out there. I live out here, and we have no prior association with the Watts or the our family for that matter. Number 4, I have not been working for years with the R's to buy this home. I have wanted this home for a long time, and it's beautiful and perfect for our family. I don't owe anyone a single explanation, which I immediately thought, well, then why are you explaining? Stop, put a sock in it now. But it was too late. I don't owe anyone a single explanation on why we bought it, but that's basically it, along with wanting to do the right thing by Shannan and her family. I do believe that we were meant to be here. And we are also happy we are, despite how people have treated us for buying it. I absolutely believe, I'll scroll down, sorry. Shannan will be happy about us buying her home and loving it rather than watching it deteriorate and having people fear this place she loved. It has, however, been a pleasure working with the R family through the process. Taking this burden from them has been our pleasure. Number 5. Again, this is Mrs. Miller addressing the hate that she received from the public through primarily social media. Number 5, where are we here? Oops, I got to scroll down again. We did not buy the house because it was, hold it. Still got to scroll down. Why is it not working? Okay, we did not buy the house because Kelly can't scroll. Okay, they're all it's wrong scrolly thing. Okay, we did not buy the house because it's the Watts house. We have wanted. Oh wait. We did not buy the house. I lost my space. Sorry. We did not just read, Kelly. Just read. Okay. We did not buy the house because it's the Watts house. We have wanted it because it's perfect for our family and our lifestyle. It's beautiful, spacious, and in a lovely neighborhood. And we have every intention on making it a normal home again so that Shannan's parents no longer have to deal with this house. So the neighbors have normality. So the community doesn't have to be silent. Have a silent reminder. Sorry, this is like, I can't read this. It's like blurred out. Sorry. Reminding them of what happened here. We will absolutely not be turning this into an Airbnb, a tourist attraction, or profiting from it in any way. And we are so happy that someone who may have had those intentions did not purchase this home. Now, that even being said about us is sickening. I will also not be creating a TikTok documenting our lives here. Finding ghosts, insert eye roll here. Number 6. We did not need the emoji description though. Thank you. Number 6. We took a picture of our kids on the kitchen counter. Shannan had a similar one, which I did not know about. Stop looking into every little thing and trying to put a negative spin on it. Okay, Mr. Rourke. It was just a cute picture, and that's all that I have. Those are the only ones that I had saved. There was 12 points, as you said, so I only had 6 of them saved. But there's 6 more where they went on to rebut all of the, haters, gawkers, harassers, loomers, trolls in social media. What do you guys think of that?
Well, I don't know. I think personally, anybody that was thinking about buying the Watts home kind of already knew what they were going to open themselves up to. I mean, first and foremost, you know what's coming with it. And secondly, if you're doing it just merely for financial gain, I mean, you're going to get flack from that regardless. If you're doing it for your 15 minutes of whatever, you're going to get flack for that regardless. So they kind of already knew what they were walking into. So her kind of taking this, stance towards people, I don't think it's very becoming of her. And I think she probably needed to take that down a tone or 10 because,
Yeah,
I think, you can say so much with saying so very little. And I think when you're in the public spotlight like that, the best thing that someone could do is to just remain silent when it comes to things like that. She really made herself look quite tacky, and I say
Something
that in
I've
the most.
learned is like the worst thing to do is to literally review everything point by point, word by word. Cause like you just said so eloquently, you can say so much in so little, but when you address every little point, people just start to be like, okay, freak show.
Right. It's quite tacky. It's very, very tacky. And for the fact that they've had the home for such a short time, that just kind of makes me, that just puts into my head, okay, so you wanted to do a quick flip, make a profit. I might be incorrect. Maybe, like Lord knows, maybe they're selling because they're just tired of people driving by and gawking and taking pictures all the time. Who knows? But just to me, it in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, they wanted to flip it, make a profit, which I mean, people do that all the time anyways, but don't jump on social media and, jump at everyone's throats that are, coming for you for, very legitimate reasons. But I mean, I do think it's quite odd, that she dresses a certain way or has the kids posed a certain way, which yeah, on one hand, it is, a coincidence. It could just be a coincidence. But on the other hand, I mean, there are people out there that are weird, bizarre, strange, that are really into that stuff. And like, they buy serial killer memorabilia and they want to live in houses that the crimes have occurred in, and they want to be like this person. Like, look at the psychologist girlfriend that was writing Chris, and her mom was obsessed with Charles Manson, and now she is
Oh, I
obsessed with Chris.
know.
And I'm like, what is going on? There's people like this.
Freaking
So
nuts.
she
Yeah.
could be one of those that, maybe the rumors were true and she wanted to move into the house and, live her life, which is odd. That's bizarre. I mean, to each their own, but what the frig? What the frig? I
Yeah.
don't know. What do you think about it?
Well, let me see what these guys have to say. And then I'm going to tell you, because you just hit on a couple possibilities of why they may have sold. And I'm going to tell you what I found out from somebody who lives there and has an adult relationship with the adults, and their children also have a children relationship as children that I was asked to not give details about. What do you, and oh, by the way, R is also up on panel. So Chris and R, what do you guys think about all this?
Hey, Miss Kelly. Thanks for letting me up
How
here.
are you? Of course. Welcome.
Crime Pod said a lot of great things.
Yeah.
It's very true, but also it's just very simple. When you put yourself in a position like this, you can't complain when you get that kind of backlash, because you're aware that this house is getting so much public attention. The people are still talking about the case. You're putting yourself out there. So you have to be prepared to deal with that public scrutiny. If not, don't take that step of purchasing a house like this. Like, you're not just purchasing the house, you're purchasing the history.
Yes.
Absolutely. Very well said, Ara. Very well said. And you know what? We just had a great question in chat. And I haven't done this analysis yet. I'm doing a quick look-see, but this is a very good question. Elliot Flower says, was a house cheap compared to others in the area? So do you mean at the time they purchased it, when they purchased it from the R's? That's a really great question. But okay, go ahead. Sorry. I just wanted to bring that to light.
Yeah, no, yeah. And so I think it's just very interesting then now the sudden change of demeanor from the people that are saying, leave us alone, blah, 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 blah. Well, you would have had to understand what you were getting yourself into when you took on this house.
Absolutely.
You weren't just buying four walls.
Yeah. And I mean, and I do understand. I do have sympathy. I mean, anyone who's getting harassed or getting all that, all that. I mean, just even having a freaking YouTube channel that talks about the Watts case. I to this day, Ara, I've always been shocked at what comes along with that, at the hate, at how ugly people be. I mean, literal like death threats, literal getting into my real life and trying to fuck things up. These people I don't even know because they don't like what I'm saying about this case. Like, for the love of God. So, I understand, if she's, it's got to be stressful. It's got to be upsetting. And I understand, having a really stressed out moment, the emotional reaction, but it's like this response was prepared. It was thought about. It went through a couple hands, and like, did no one think better of this?
Well, see, that's the thing. Responding to that, you're just lightning fluid.
Absolutely.
I mean, and if you have kids, you should know that arguing with your kids is not going to do anything good, right? It just, so I feel like, I don't know, it's just an interesting predicament they put themselves into, and I'm interested to see what happens over time with this house.
That's right. What do you think, Chris? Thank you, Ara. Yeah, Chris. What do you think, Chris? Are you still there, Chris? Oh, wait, I got to bring her back up. Sorry, honey. All right. I'm coming for you, Chris. I'm coming. I'm throwing you a life preserver. There she is. All right, good. Hey, Chris, what do you think?
So you left off some of the finer points of her email where she goes on to say a house is just drywall and sticks, but then she...
Oh, really? I couldn't find the rest of it. Okay,
cool. I'll send you the whole thing, but then she goes on.
That's the part I had saved, yeah.
And 4 other parts to talk about the spirit of Shannan, and I want to carry on her legacy of happiness, and we felt nothing but peace. And
do you have it? Do you want to read it?
Let me find it.
Thank you so much. I couldn't find it. I didn't save it for some reason. I thought I saved the whole thing, and I only had half a file. And then when I was looking for it, I didn't look too hard, but shortly before the live stream, when I realized I didn't have the whole thing, I could not find it.
Well, it's like, so is the house sticks and stones, or does it have the spirit of Shannan? Like,
right.
So she dug herself in a hole a little bit, and she did say that they wanted it for a long time, and she also said that we see this as our forever house. That was the other thing that was interesting. I'm pulling up the full statement, all her 12 points. She was like Martin Luther, nailing her 12 points to the
That's
awesome. She had some grievances, let me tell you.
That is so funny. Oh my God.
So
See, everywhere I had found it before, it's no longer there. Did they try to like scrub this? Probably someone did. I mean,
you can't scrub foolishness from the
no, you can't scrub. That's well said. You guys are full of good words tonight. Can't scrub foolishness. You hear that, my friends? Coming straight from Chris. Believe it.
You guys can go. I'm still looking up the
thank you.
The 12-point bulletin.
Okay, cool. The 12-point bulletin.
Oh my God.
What else do you guys have to say?
I'm just, it's the audacity for me. I mean, wow. Yikes. I don't know how much they bought it for. I don't know if any of you guys know, but I know
$600,000.
they bought it for
like they wanted to
600.
resell it. Is that why some people are saying that they bought it just to resell it, to change the color?
Well, the people that the few people who are just in real estate, and a couple of them in that area, I just briefly talked about with this. 2 of them I connected with in another challenge chat. I'm not saying, it's just people I've been talking to know something about, said that, the $600,000 to the $775,000 price increase, although $175,000 sounds like a good chunk of change. They put a lot of money into the house. And
Did
B,
they?
yeah.
They just put paint and a new roof in 2023.
That's paint is cheap. I mean,
And
they
then
have
a new
paint
roof.
back
linoleum,
taxes on
so
that?
Well, okay, maybe they didn't pull out. Okay, so let's remove put a lot of money into the house. Maybe I'm just wrong on that.
They put
And
a new roof in 2023, but I think that's the extent of it. Besides paint, a new roof in 2023.
and
okay,
usually
so that would be
insurance
like, okay,
covers
so
that.
paint and I mean a new roof for that house. I'm probably going to run like what, $20,000.
If
If
that.
insurance
If
doesn't pay
really,
it.
okay, so like say they didn't put anything in the house. Apparently, and I'm looking into this right now, and I did look up some stats on this. The way that real estate is just on fire in the seller's market in that area, it's not, it's not like it's nothing it's not jaw dropping. I mean, it's not. I don't know. They didn't think it would be the greatest flip if that were the purpose of purchasing the house, was to flip it. I don't know. No one thought that. I don't know. What do you guys think? I mean, it could be, but I don't think it is, given what I learned, which I'm going to tell you in a minute after Chris reads us the rest of those if she can find it.
Yeah, here's the thing. A flip, if the house sat for 4 years, that
Mhm.
tells you in and of itself it's not a great flip. If it took 4
Right.
years to
Right. Yeah.
to
Yeah.
sell it.
Flip. Right.
And like I said,
But
in
like
her,
moving your family in, moving your
yep,
family out, like when you flip houses and you have 3 children and you're not like, destitute, you don't usually move into the flipping house, like get your whole family involved. I mean, their children are an age where they really need stability. And I'm sure I don't think they're going to be like moving them in
Well,
and out of flip houses.
think about this though. I mean, there's a lot of piping that we don't know about. They experience cold weathers. So maybe there was a
Mhm.
lot of internal stuff that they had to deal with. But also even just like you guys said, recarpeting everything would be
Mhm.
expensive, repainting the inside of the walls, fixing the pipes, the backyard. Who knows what they had to do to it.
Well,
that's the same carpet.
I heard they invested $70,000 to $80,000 in it. I don't know if that's true or
Okay.
not, but that was the estimate that was put out there to me. So
I'm surprised it's not $1 million, to be frank, because the cost of houses is ridiculous these days.
yeah.
Yeah, I did say in the Zillow listing that, don't quote me verbatim, but it was more or less, um, like you'll be lucky to find something like this for this cost in this area towards
Right.
the latter part of the Zillow write up. And I'm just like,
Mhm.
really? Really? Like they haven't had it for very long. Yes, they put on a new roof last year. Yes, they, I'm sorry, to each their own, but like I'm a fan of neutral colors. That some of those colors in there were
Mhm.
yeah. So
Yeah.
they did put the nice neutral colors in there and made it very bright and beautiful and more like sunlight was in there. Like yes, it looks better on the outside and the inside, at least
Mhm.
in my opinion. But it does make it seem like yeah, they're just making a quick buck, like trying to flip it. So for her to just be in this, you know, this attitude, that taking this
Yeah.
stance, and barking at people. If you're just in it to make a quick flip, why are you saying it's your forever home or you're seeing it as your
Right.
forever home and,
Right.
Yeah.
taking
Exactly.
pictures of your kids in this house and being all in the internet's face
Yeah.
and then having the audacity to get irate and, bark off these bulletin points. Like, okay, if
Right.
you're in there to make a 100 grand or whatever amount of money you're making off of it, then just shut your pie hole and do what you
Mhm.
got to do. Why are you
Yeah.
barking in people's faces? I really don't understand that point. So that's what makes me think that there was a little bit more to this than maybe she was insinuating. But yeah,
Well,
And
do you
for
guys
that's
what
just
want
my
it's
to?
opinion.
worth, the house was painted before they moved in.
Oh,
Oh,
It
right.
the
That's right.
exterior.
They
Yeah,
painted
if
it
you
to
look at
sell.
the
That's it.
listings,
Yep.
all of Shanann's colors were gone.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
is the same carpet. So now we're talking a roof, which you can probably get insurance to cover, and a lot of like
Oh,
Hobby Lobby sayings. I'm just not seeing a huge investment in the house.
Yeah. Yeah.
mm,
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, yep. Thank you. So either way, I don't. Either way, I'm still personally of the opinion that it's just like not a flip situation. But okay, I'm just gonna tell you guys what it was that I was told. Okay. So the person that I spoke to, again, the parents, the family has a adult relationship with the adult, and the kids also know one another. So this is what the vibe is of the Miller family. They are they have been increasingly becoming and making attempts to be more like integrated in the community, as families with children often do, getting their kids involved in activities, themselves getting involved in committees and activities, let's say like PTA or like what, I don't know, like I don't say when it gets this late at night, I can't think of my words, but you know those activities that people do.
They want to be on the social committee, but nobody wants to come to their house, Kelly.
Yeah.
Thank you. And apparently, according to these people, or this person, it's a couple, but this person I spoke to that knows them, they are like those kind of people that you're going to expect are going to get involved in those things. And like I will get involved in those things if it's going to help, if it's going to help my kid, if it's going to help his school, if it's going to help, like, you just really need someone, fine, I'll do it, but like, I'm not like, all right,
Stepford
my goal
wives.
next year is going to be the treasurer
Yeah.
of this committee and the secretary of this club, and then I'm going to get like in this
That's
group
like Stepford wivey.
Yes.
That's like totally not my thing, but apparently
They all
this
come out
is
of the house at the same time.
yeah.
Take
But
the
apparently
trash.
this is their thing, and especially one of the two of the couple, but I'm not going to like say, because I'm not trying to pick on anybody, but and that from everything they knew, or anyone else who knows, this family knows, they were fully planning on growing their roots as fast and deep as they possibly could. And they gave a number of examples of intentions and actions that are both in process and have happened that show their intention to grow fast, deep roots and just stay freaking put. Now, apparently, I had heard from some other channels, or more so, people told me other channels were saying, that there were some things that were a matter of public record, and then some people were either saying that they learned, or speculating, or mislabeling them, or I don't know, that it was a divorce, it was a bankruptcy, it was a heading towards divorce, apparently there are no financial problems. Apparently, as far as anybody on the outside, other than the people in this marriage know, there is no, like, the marriage is fine. They're not separating. They're not divorcing. So it was something very specific that had to do with their desire to get themselves and their family physically out of the house, because they do not want to leave the area. There is no relocating. There's no somebody got a new killer job. There is no bankruptcy. There is no the only thing that is changing for the Millers, or that they are showing a desire to change by putting the house up for sale, is to rid themselves of the house. Does that
See,
make
now
sense?
that's interesting to me. That's interesting to me, because if they want to establish these quote unquote deep roots, well, what has caused them so abruptly to get root rot?
Well, that's true. But Chris, go ahead and say what you were going to say there too.
Well, I was going to say they own a house 12 minutes away that they were not able to sell. So I guess they rented it out.
Yeah.
But they literally have another house 12 minutes away.
Yeah.
So
Oh.
why are you trying to be rooted 12 minutes away in this new house versus the old house, which is
And apparently they are no longer living like nightly at 2825 Saratoga.
I've heard that.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Mm.
I don't know if I
This
should
is
have said that.
interesting.
Yeah.
No, it's hey, it's up for discussion. It's public knowledge. It's
makes
up for
me think.
discussion.
He's been seen there recently, but they are no longer living on a nightly basis at 2825 Saratoga. Yeah.
Wow.
Sometimes you just have to pay attention to people's actions and not just what they say.
Absolutely. Yeah.
because if your issue is you can't get rooted, why do you have to leave immediately?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. Right. Right. Yeah. It's a house. It is the house. I mean, it's something with the house. That's the only issue. The marriage is good. The finances are good. The kids are, well integrated. Everybody is involved in stuff going on there. They're excited about it. They're making connections.
Yet they won't sleep at the house. That's interesting.
That
Yeah,
tells
and
you
apparently
everything.
they have no intention to change school districts, to change. This is according to my source who knows them. So
They just won't sleep at the
And I
house
mean, if they talk about being afraid at the house, it's going to be more difficult for them to sell.
to
Look
sell
how
it.
Right.
difficult
exactly,
it was
yeah.
the first time.
And these people
Well,
said that they don't know anything about that. I asked, is it, and they said, they said, we wouldn't know anything. We don't know anything about that. We don't know. So
Well, yeah, just like she said, like that's not going to be broadcasted because then at that point in itself is just going to be so much more difficult to sell. I mean, it already has that history and the stigma
And you don't want
attached
to
to it.
lose money either. You
right.
put money into it. You don't want to lose more money.
yeah,
Yeah,
And you
so
don't
for
want
them
that
to just
following your
abruptly,
kids.
right, and then
Mhm.
them just abruptly be like, nope, we got to get up out of here, and them not sleeping at the house. My
Mhm.
God, that says a lot.
I mean, again, I don't know that to be 1,000% true, but I believe it to be
Kelly,
true
I heard the
based on-
same thing.
Okay, all right.
Where
Has
are you
anyone
all
else
hearing
heard
these
any of it?
things from?
What?
What is there like a Facebook page where this is happening where people are discussing this?
I have no idea. I don't have time to
Oh,
Facebook page,
okay.
unfortunately, recently.
I
But if
know.
anyone else does, tell me what's being said. This is
Yes.
from people. Yeah.
So is their story nobody wants to be their friend because of the house, Kelly?
No, I didn't hear anything like that, but maybe it is. I didn't
So
hear
if they
anything like
wanted
that.
to have deep roots, I just don't get why they can't.
Mm-hmm.
Well, but what I'm saying is that's their desire, and they have been doing things that would, grow that would root you, that would give you a foundation. And they are still engaged in those things. They're just not at the house and it's for sale.
That's so
If I lived
weird
at
to
that
me.
house, I could never go a day without thinking what happened in that house.
And my kid is not coming to
Exactly.
your sleepover or your birthday party.
Exactly.
And then I'd wonder, like, hey, how come people don't want their kids to come and spend the night? You know, if
Yeah.
you're trying to be in the community, but nobody wants to go over and nobody wants to let their kids spend the night there, or let your kids go to somebody else's house, I could see that happening too.
Yeah, I mean
I
that certainly
wouldn't.
could, yeah.
And in her 12-point bulletin, the 12th point, and I just remember she was like, "My husband is not going to kill me."
Oh my God.
Oh,
That was that
wow.
was part of her rant. She was like, "People are
His
saying my
went
husband will
first.
be possessed and
Oh
kill me.
God.
My husband loves us." And it's like, okay,
Okay.
girl. Right.
No one asked, but okay.
Wow, that's really giving Ronnie DeFeo.
Right.
Oh my God.
No. Wow. Did you
I
find
mean,
those
yikes.
complaints?
I found like commentary on it. I'm trying to
It's
find it
okay
in
if
its
you didn't. I just
entirety.
can't believe that they're not findable anymore. I mean,
She was
She
quick scrubbing that.
yeah,
Well,
right.
she deleted that post, but it was captured somewhere else. But
Sure, of
there is a
course.
YouTube channel because they threatened to like take all of these like legal actions. And so there's a YouTuber who has the whole thing in its entirety on her site. And she's like, I'm only posting this because she comes after the YouTube community and
Oh,
copyright violation and all of that. So
YouTuber.
I'll drop the link.
Okay, yeah.
But I cannot find a screenshot of
I
it. But
know. Weird,
the
right?
12 points are emblazoned in my mind. So
Go
she,
ahead and paraphrase them.
yeah. So like I said, her husband's not going to kill her. This house was perfect for them, which I don't get because the house, I looked up the house that they didn't sell, but it was much better yard, much more privacy. Yes, this house is bigger, but not in a really usable space kind of way. Like you have this front room that's ginormous, so you put a telescope and a faux fireplace in it. Kitchen's comparable. Like the whole house to me is very comparable. This house is just
It's an open
larger.
Yeah.
Super open layout.
What's that? Open
Hmm.
layout?
Yeah, super open layout.
Yeah.
That's a thing. People like that. Yeah.
I don't think this house is an open layout because it's like got a lot of curves in it to get to the office. Then there's 2 ways to the kitchen.
Well, just
and
I mean, like living room to kitchen, it's just all in one. When you can see
Yeah.
the kitchen and the living room at the same time. But
so
then
that's
you
how
have
their
that
old house
dining
was.
area.
That's how their old house was. Their old house,
Mhm.
if you took this and like left clicked on it and shrunk it, it's their old house.
It's very kind of typical modern contemporary architecture, I think, do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, I live in a house similar to this, and
It's like
I cry at
lofty.
the wasted space.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Yeah.
Because you could have a bigger second story, you know?
Yes, I hate. I have
Mm-hmm.
the same. I mean, at least it's my family room that's 2 stories, but I'm like, I wish they would
And
have
think
put
about
another
how hard
bedroom
your
up there.
yeah, no, your AC doesn't have to work that hard there because it's Colorado.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just thinking,
Sorry for
like,
interrupting.
how the heck do you dust the corners? Just sorry, that's what
I know. Seriously, though. I mean, yeah, like there's got to be a way. Long
I don't know.
extension. Long extension.
That's exactly. I was gonna say I actually have the answer to that because it's in my garage. They have like up to 20-foot like
Oh
dust
my
controls.
gosh.
Yeah, I own
I
one.
don't know what you guys think, but I don't know. The whole it just it seems so abrupt. I don't know. I think maybe something's going on in that house. What do you
Yeah.
guys think?
Well, I think there might be now that I know it's not the marriage, it's not the finances, it's not that like you know,
The
thank
house.
thank God nobody in the family is like sick in a way where they might have to move to get towards a like a you know where there's a specialization for you know it's nothing like that. Yeah, it must be it has to be the house.
It could be so simple, just they don't like the attention. They didn't realize it was gonna get this much or this bad.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, they
Yeah,
have
but
children
then
too.
if that was true, wouldn't she abstain from putting herself under that scrutiny by confronting social
Well, that's what I
media?
was
Like,
saying in the beginning, but also you're never prepared for what you know. You think you're ready, but then it happens, and then you're like, "Oh crap, maybe I wasn't ready for this." And you have to take a step back. So maybe that's
To
just
me, though, they made it happen. Like I said, it's
yes.
very easy. I told my realtor, please don't post. You can say we close. We can take pictures at the lawyer's office. I do not want my house online. I mean, like, they
Miss
kind
Kelly.
of
You have
did
a
this
new member.
themselves.
Oh,
Like
great,
she
awesome, thank you. I'll be
like
right
she
back.
could have
Thank you.
like moved in silently and planned to move out silently. Like well, not she, but they kind of made it, a spectacle, you
Yeah.
know?
But people like to post everything on the line these days. Kelly and I used to talk about this. People post about what they ate that day and
Yeah.
how many miles they ran. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's true. That is very
Yeah.
true.
Well, somebody put in the original comments how very Shannan Watts of you, and I was like, oh,
Ooh.
fired.
Uh-oh.
Shots fired.
Oh,
Yikes.
that was good though. That was pretty on time.
Right.
That's awesome. I'm looking for that freaking post. I'm like obsessed now. I'm like, I've got to find it.
I'm looking forward to. I can tell you,
Where?
I can tell you the
Let me help.
YouTuber Neeks Peaks did an entire
Oh,
video
did
on
she?
it because
Oh,
she was
okay, cool.
so irritated by the post, but she has
Okay.
all the 12 points of it.
Oh, does she? Okay, great. So many of you love Anik's Peaks too. But yeah, so it's over at Neek's Peaks, which I'm gonna check out after this. Yeah, I love
Oh, me too.
I love Neek's Peaks on the Watts case. I love Neek's Peaks. I love you, Neek's Peaks. I love Neek's Peaks on the Watts case. I think she's brilliant. Her videos are fucking amazing. I totally don't agree with her on the Idaho case, and I can't even watch the videos anymore because it irritates me and I want to continue to love her. So please go support Neek's Peaks and watch all of her Watts videos. Period. But no, I do love Neeks Peaks. Cool. Very
Yeah,
good.
I'm gonna have to check that video
But
out because
she
oh
made
my
an
God.
entire video because she felt like the homeowner was infringing on the rights of YouTubers and sort of.
Oh,
She
really?
said
I
some
found the
very
video.
disparaging things about YouTubers in her 12
On her
bulletins.
post.
I
Oh,
found the video and it's in the private chat.
oh, cool. Thank you, darling. Okay, I'm gonna go scan it. Wow. Let's see.
Well, we should make a video.
No.
I feel inspired.
Right?
Do we think though that maybe because they weren't able to sell their old house, do we think because it's been a year, which is around the time of a lease, or a year and a half, do we think that their old house is empty and they can't juggle 2 mortgages? They're young. They're really young.
Mm.
I mean, that's very possible. But you'd think then they would, do what they needed to. They'd flip their old house. If this is their dream house or whatever, what it's perfect, all these gushing things they said, you think they would do what they could to turn a profit on the old house to, it's from what I understand, they have enough assets to be leveraged. Okay. So, I mean, why would it? I'm just having a hard time with any of those
I think
possibilities. But
it's
maybe.
after learning about Shannan and on all like the financial stuff that we don't see behind the scenes, right? Everybody in this chat, you guys have your own financial situations, your debts, and all that stuff. You guys don't publicize that, and maybe the Millers have that too.
Sorry, go ahead.
You know,
Sorry. Uh-huh.
no, you never know. You know what
Yeah.
they're going through behind the scenes, also, and they put on this
Sure.
facade. I like to look at it through every angle. You know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very true. And I mean,
But
and the way today is with how the economy is, I mean, where I'm in, like I live in Canada and in Ontario, and the cost of living here is just astronomical. It is just it's almost unbearable to try to live. You know, it's horrible.
You only
But
live
you
2.5
think that
hours
they
away
would,
from me.
oh yeah,
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to
hey
interrupt
neighbor. But yeah, it's just like you think they would rent out that space, and you know that would be like a monthly turnover, not a turnover. Oh my God, you know what I'm saying? My brain's not braining right now.
No, I
But like,
gotcha.
yeah, they would make some kind of profit in order to sustain, you know, that mortgage over there, and
Right.
then you know when they go to work and you know their salaries or whatever to maintain mortgage over here so they can maintain both A and B. So that makes me think something went wrong with A, and I'm trying to figure out, okay, what went wrong with A to make you so abruptly want to leave A to the point where you won't even sleep there.
well,
Yeah,
and this is the thing that
that's
creeps
how
me
I feel
out.
about it. Like, there's always a way. Like, I'm a hustler, baby. So, you know, you're speaking to like somebody who's always going to make it work. No, but really, there is always a way to make it work. I mean, that's how, like, if you know, there are people out there where there isn't always a way to make it work. So I always feel bad when I say things like that because I understand people are in those situations. But for the situation that I understand the Miller family to be in, honey, there's ways to make it work. If this is your dream house and y'all want it and stuff, if you are
Make it
able to
work.
get the financial, like if you're able to get the financial approval for a purchase of that house at $600,000, you have things floating around out there that are able to be moved and leveraged and tucked in and lifted up
Yeah.
and liquidated, and you know I just
But you know, Kelly, I look at this house now, and the backyard seems so much smaller now that they have the houses
houses.
behind
I know,
it.
I agree with that. Yeah, I
Like
was thinking the same thing.
it's a strip of grass with absolutely no privacy and a
Yep.
very low fence. I find it odd they kept the laundry room the same color. They kept the same
Mm-hmm.
rug, the same
Mm.
shelves. I
Yeah.
don't know if that's Cece's bed. I'm gonna say no, but it's the
Oh,
same like make and model. It's
Jesus
just
Christ! I hope not. God.
that kind of that is the same
Yeah.
carpet. They haven't
Yeah.
changed the carpet. I mean, if you're gonna charge me a quarter of a
That's
mil, throw
weird.
down some faux wood at least. Like the house is still like
Right.
wall to wall
Yeah,
carpet.
right
It's the
now,
same light
yeah.
fixtures. To me, there was almost a
Yeah.
desire to preserve.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. Like the only thing that's changed is the colors.
And
Yeah.
and they didn't change that.
The
It's
realtor
weird
did.
not to
Yeah.
change the carpet. That's weird.
Right.
I think
Especially
weird
with
things
the
are doing
things
what
that have
happened.
gone on in that house, you'd
It's
want to tear up
weird.
the freaking carpets. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's the
weird.
first thing I would do.
Carpet's going first.
Yeah,
Exactly.
right now it's for 775,000. That's yeah.
Yeah,
Four
no, they
thousand
got
dollars a month, bro. No.
And it's just
no.
weird as I'm watching Kelly flash it. All I do is
Mm,
see like Shanann talking about how the fridge broke at Christmas. Like
Yep.
that's the
Yep.
mm.
Yep.
that's the same fridge. Like that there's
Yep.
certain angles. Oh, that's the angle where Chris walked in and found out
Yep.
they were pregnant. I just can't.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm looking at houses around the area on Zillow. Like if you
Uh-huh.
type in the address, that is actually the most expensive house in the area. And we're
That's
talking
what I
about like
found too. Ara, thank you. I was
mhm,
just doing a really quick search. I didn't want to even say it because I wasn't
mhm.
certain, but that's exactly what I saw also. Yep.
Yeah.
So it's
Okay,
not
so
way
then they
out
lied on their Zillow write up, then they got nerve because if you look on the Zillow write up for 2825, at the latter part they had stated, you know, basically like you're lucky for finding this price in this area. Like, you know what I mean? Like, why would they put that then?
Well, I
Oh, this
mean,
is
And I've heard that
creepy.
entire neighborhood has taken. Nate's mom said it in an interview that they
yes,
all have taken a hit on their
that's
housing
right.
prices.
That's
Mhm.
right. Yep.
Oh, because it depreciated the value. Oh
Yes.
Yeah.
Lord.
Of
Yeah.
Oh
everybody's
Lord.
house, whether
Yeah.
so the murder house is depreciated if every other house is.
Yep. That's right.
They have nerve charging over 700. Oh my God.
For linoleum. That, and all I can hear is Dieter's feet. Like it's
I
just, it's
know.
Shanann.
Oh,
It's
Dieter.
Shanann's house.
Just looking at that, I'm like, why do they have fucking linoleum in the kitchen? Why not like some nice tile or anything? Not linoleum.
Anything. They got linoleum at the front door, and literally,
Oh my
like I said,
God.
all I can hear. I wonder if they hear like Dieter's pitter patters. I know they have their own
Aw.
dogs. It's just,
I hear Dieter's pitter patters all the time.
I mean, to me, it looked
Yeah,
like a
no.
desire to preserve it because I would
It
have taken down
does.
the.
Yeah,
That's the
why wouldn't you
same
replace the linoleum? My God.
because that's not expensive,
No.
and
Is
if you have assets,
Yeah.
the
apply
value
them.
of the yeah. I'm so
Yeah.
sorry.
And
I keep interrupting.
no, and then they kept the refrigerator in the basement too. That was my last thing.
Yeah, no,
That's not
that's
okay.
creepy.
And that
That's
That's
not
kills
okay.
me.
creepy.
I don't know what you're going to say about the basement, Kelly, but I believe that freezer in that basement is not kosher, and that's the same freezer.
I
I truly
agree.
believe that it is
They
not
had no
I
kosher.
agree.
need to have another freezer down there. Well, I mean, maybe I don't know. I don't know their life,
They could
but
have just got their own though. It's the Watts freezer.
yeah, that's weird.
I mean, you think the realtors would have freaking picked up on that.
Or take it
They just
out.
wanted to sell the house.
Photoshop it out. Photoshop out your kids' full government names and birthdays. There's so much
Right.
stupidity happening in the
Right.
postings that it just bothers me.
Like,
Right.
was it a souvenir? Like, you know what I mean? It was weird. Like, what is the
Right.
And that's
carpet?
what makes me think that something is off with her. And, because there is people like that, because that gives me the
No, you're
ick
right.
so bad.
Yeah.
So bad, you guys. Like, okay, say if push came to shove, right? And our circumstances in life were different, okay? That goes for us on panel, everyone in chat. Say our life circumstances were different. Say we had been gifted that house. Okay.
I would.
And
No, thank you, please.
a family member got it for dirt cheap,
Oh, that
and
sounds
say
fun.
the economy was horrible and we needed somewhere to go, and we were gifted that house from a parent or an aunt or whatever. Okay. And we had no choice but to move in that house. The first thing
I'm
to
going to live
go.
with Kelly.
But just say, for conversation's sake, the first thing to go, and at least my opinion, would be the carpets and the
Yes.
appliances, because there's no
Yes.
freaking way. Because I agree with you about the basement. Yeah, no, A and B. No.
Nope.
That's definitely not kosher. And the carpets, I don't freaking
No.
think so.
No.
I don't freaking think so.
And look at
And
that
they
feng
kept those.
shui.
They
Terrible.
kept Shanann's rugs in the laundry room.
That's weird.
Look at the rug in the laundry room. It's the
Oh
same
my
rug
God.
at the base of the
Like
washer
paying
and dryer.
homage to, but it's still weird.
And
Yeah,
here's the other piece of that puzzle, though, with what you guys are saying. Before you were even saying all of this, because I mean, I've never really had too much interest in these people or who moved into this house. I was just like, like what,
Same.
this was something horrible that happened, but guess what? Life goes on, and that's what life is going on, and I just don't really care.
Yeah.
But I have talked about this is what's the obsession, and I've talked about this nil until today,
Yeah.
and ooh, that is freaking weird.
It's just weird.
I had to go by it quickly. It was so weird. What struck me as being strange from the beginning was the way okay, when they moved into the house, they're like, oh, we're gonna honor Shannan, and then the rebuttal post that we were reading from, and I'm gonna read the rest. I'm going to Neek's Peaks. Hey, Neeks, listen, I love ya. So everybody go subscribe to Neeks Peaks. She is a fantastic videographer, and her Watts material is the bomb. And we are going to go to her channel together. Come on, everybody, here in the live stream to read bullet points 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So is why is everything framed in terms of Shannan?
Right.
It's
I'm
weird.
not
That's
obsessed.
weird to me.
I don't know her. This is just a house, but
Yeah.
everything is about her legacy and what she would
Yeah.
want. How do you know what she would want? I would want
Well,
you to get out of
remember,
my house.
I think NK was obsessed with Shannan, and I have no doubt that there are other people in this
100%.
world that have like some weird obsession with Shannan too.
Oh,
In the
yeah.
weird,
Oh,
sorry
yeah.
if that's weird to say.
I
Oh no,
believe you're
trust me,
accurate.
I know them. They stop by Watts the Obsession all the time.
I believe it.
But
There
you
you
know what
go.
they
Number
say though,
7.
But
like
you know
There
what
you
I
go.
mean, right?
I
Yes,
believe
I
you,
do.
Ara. I 100% believe it.
Yeah.
you know what they say though, the guilty make the most clamor. So for her making all this
Oh.
ruckus and noise, that just kind of, proves beyond the shadow of a doubt that okay, maybe she was a little bit of obsessy, stressy over Shanann, maybe.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, it is possible. We want
She
to know, Miss
also has
Miller.
the
Are you
weird.
all obsessy, stressy over Shanann? We want to know. It wasn't
Well,
question.
she also remember Shanann had a weird font on Facebook that I still to this day can't figure out how to do. Old
Yeah.
girl has the same weird font on Facebook.
What?
She does.
Oh wow.
Look at the
Really?
font. Remember, Shanann's Facebook had like a very
Wait, I
strange.
think that this is Sneaks Peeks that does this. Sneaks Peeks does this font.
No, the girl's font on Facebook. If you had a screenshot of it, it's not the normal Facebook font.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, weird. That is
Oh, that
weird.
just gave me chicken skin so bad.
Yeah, I know. At least it's not satanic pig with red eye skin.
Oh God.
Were you
Don't
here
even say that.
when they showed that? I don't think you were in
Yes.
your crime pod. Okay. Sorry.
Oh my God.
It really bugged me out. I'm sorry. Okay, never mind. If you didn't get the reference, you just pretend you didn't hear the last 15 seconds. Okay, so yeah, that is weird. Let's read the rest of them. Okay, if I can keep reading. Number 7. Holy shit. I just read the first few words and I can't even believe it. Okay.
I told you.
Oh my God.
You have to use the voice though, Kelly.
I'm starting to sweat. I've taken my sweatshirt off. Just 1 minute. I need to lose some layers here. This is like upset. This is making me anxious or something. Okay.
Use the voice, Kelly. Use the voice.
Oh, which voice?
It was a very high register that when you were reading off the other.
Okay. Yes.
points.
Because that's how I feel her voice is. Okay. All right. I've got to get into it. Okay. Please forgive me if I don't roll into it right away. I've got to start feeling the Mrs. Miller vibe. Okay.
Anyone watch the movie The Millers?
Yes, that's a great movie. Super funny. Okay. My husband is not CW and will never ever hurt us. Oh my God. Do you even hear how illogical and silly it sounds to say that my husband will hurt us like Chris Watts did just because we are living in this house? To say there are evil spirits living here that will possess my husband like they did Chris Watts, that is sickening! With 2 exclamation points, not just 1. That's the first time we've seen that from Miss Miller. What a vile thought! 2 exclamation points at least, but Neeks Peaks logo is in the way, and everybody, please subscribe to Neeks Peaks. Blah, blah, blah. Are no monsters here. Okay, there are no monsters here. Chris Watts made a decision,
and he is where he belongs, or something like weird like that.
Okay, let's see how close you got. Does anyone else want to make a wager? Let's see. There are no. Okay, made a decision, and as a human being, hold him in all capital letters, by the way, accountable instead of some imagery monster you can't even prove exists. Monsters you can't even prove exist. I'm sorry, I got my plurals mixed up. You know who does exist? Chris Watts. And he is in prison where he belongs. Well, we agree on that, sister. Blame that sorry excuse of human garbage for what he did, and please excuse as I advance this video. Oh wait, you know what? I'm gonna just press play. There we go. Mute it. For what he did, and stop assuming my husband will do the same thing because he is living in this house, a house made of drywall and carpet. You should be ashamed of yourselves for even thinking that, let alone having the audacity to type it out for the world to see. Please seek therapy immediately. Jesus Christ. Oh my God.
I'm available to be your therapist.
I know. And I'll write up a functional behavioral analysis for you. And I think we can probably come up with a plan, honey. Call us.
I told you she did. She made no friends. Like I just don't like. I just flat out don't like her. But go to
I know, man.
Okay,
You know
but
what?
what she said about just being carpet and drywall. Okay, I'm sorry to keep bringing it there, but okay, every single haunted
linoleum, don't
house
forget
in the
linoleum.
planet. And the linoleum, let's not forget that. I mean, hauntings occur every freaking day, and it doesn't matter if it's carpet and drywall or if it's hardwood floors, linoleum, whatever. Sometimes spirits are where spirits are, and it doesn't matter where the place is. The spirits can attach to people or
Yeah.
things.
And to me, you can't have it both ways. You can't say it's just sticks and wood and linoleum and carpet and also I want to honor her legacy and the love that she filled it
Right.
here. You
I
don't get to
agree.
do both.
I agree. She has almost a little passive aggressive NK, like, Shank Shannan vibe.
Well, I want to know which Miller she's attached to because there's a Nicole Sophia Miller.
Yeah, I don't think that has to do with NK.
I agree.
I think I personally, I mean, I think I went to the end of the road on that. And I think I think someone's punking us. I don't know, but maybe.
Call me, Kelly.
Okay, I will. Chris dropping some information behind the scenes. We'll let you know if we're going to disclose it at a later time. Okay. Wow, now I'm intrigued. We got to end this live stream. Bye. I got to go call Chris. Bye, guys. Just kidding. All right. Number 8. Rather than asking me anything, you are either asking other people questions or are going off internet rumors. Ask me. Well, my God, you seem so friendly. I really can't wait to strike up a conversation. I am right here. Please stay there. Sorry. Oh no, I'm being taken over by a.
It's not you, it's her.
Okay. If you are close to me, you have my number. Okay. Well, that's what your friend said too, that you get around. I'm sorry. Okay. If you are not close to me, you don't need to be asking other people those questions. Well, actually, I did ask other people those questions who are close to you. And by the way, it worked out just fine. So maybe next time you want to rewrite this, you can include my experience.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anyway, moving on to number 9. Everybody, subscribe to Neek Speaks. Okay. All right, hold it. Okay. Number 9. Many people are so obsessed with Watt's case. What's the obsession? Everybody subscribe to What's the Obsession. With us moving into this house because they are so obsessed with Shannan and her babies. Everyone raise your hands. Okay.
Kelly, you have to stop.
You have to stop.
It's because look, guys, after a while, because Kelly has her bedtime. After a while, she gets a little sassy.
I know.
I like it. I like this tired Kelly. She says what she thinks.
Exactly what's happening.
And she tries not to be politically correct.
The exhaustion's taking over. All right.
Yes.
There's absolutely no shame in seeking therapy. I know. That's why you're going to come to me. I'm going to evaluate you and then I'm going to refer you to Chris. Okay. And I'm not being sarcastic here. I believe you are not. So many of the people making comments never knew her, probably never even in the grocery store.
Passed her in the grocery store.
Gotcha. You are driving. You nuts. Apparently. Let's see. Oh, advance. Everybody subscribe to Neek Speaks. Subscribe to Neek Speaks.
You have to understand that Shanann's online presence, she wanted you to feel like you knew her because she was trying to recruit you to her business. So everything that she put on the internet was meant to connect with you.
That's a very good point. Very good point, Ara. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
You were driving around taking pictures of this house and obsessing over a family whose case was solved years ago. Oh, girlfriend, now we got something to talk about. Okay?
Kelly, it's time to move on.
No, it was closed years ago. It was not solved, but I digress.
Yes. Excuse me, Miss Miller. Excuse me. Yeah, we would like to make some edits to your post.
Did Rourke put the down payment on her house? I need records.
Did what?
Did Rourke put the down payment on her house?
I know, right? Seriously. I mean, they say a few things that are like kind of the same. I mean, I'm sure they both end every sentence with "leave me alone." I mean every statement.
And leave Jim alone too. Let's not forget.
And leave Jim alone, bitch. All right. We care deeply about what happened. We think of them. Well, how can you not? You live in their house. We think of their family because you owe them a lot of money now, sister. And we wish to carry Shannan's torch in this house by filling it with all the love it deserves, but not with clothes that make me look like her or pictures where my family is positioned that may look like hers. Just to be
Miss
clear.
Kelly, Are you saying that you also think that she's kind of like copying Shannan? Okay.
I don't know. I'm sensing an array of instability here, and I'm really not sure where to even.
All of cluster B, honey.
They all cluster B.
I get you. I get you.
We've got a borderline bipolar antisocial. Blah, 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 okay. Sorry. However, this is our new home.
Now, Kelly, wait, can I just pause you here? Remember the creep fest that you did on the house? What did Shannan say in the EVP? This is our home. She said that we heard that multiple times along with the I'm with Cece. But this is our home is in the video that you showed last time. And that
is the creepiest one. Yeah.
This sent me over when she said this is now our home because Shannan said this is our home.
Wow. Oh, yeah. No, you are spot on with that. Yes, you are. Yikes. Okay, I'm gonna play that right after this. Don't let me forget. Okay, we're gonna listen to that EVP and then I'm
and
gonna.
who says Shannan's torch? Who uses that language? I'm here to carry on the torch of a dead woman.
She's here to shine like Shannan. Go ahead, girl.
Oh yeah, I got it. She's her torch is shining. This little light of mine. Nee, 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 nee. Okay, sorry. Hold on. Let me get back to the post. This woman makes me crazy. This is my craziness.
No, Kelly, I told you it made me crazy, and I'm glad that you get to experience a little bit of it.
Thank you, Neeks. You're the best. We are not by any means intending to erase what happened here, trying to get involved or here by trying to get ourselves involved in this case. Oh my God, she's insufferable. All right. Or minimizing her death. But we are choosing to remember their lives. But we don't want to too much, by the way. They are not defined by their deaths. Remember who they were as people, but don't wear the same clothing. And why we identified with her so much. But make sure your hair doesn't
But
look
wait,
like her.
you didn't identify with her because you said you didn't know her and you didn't pass her in a grocery store. So which is
And
it?
she definitely didn't see the pictures where her family posed in a similar way, even though that was like half of her pictures. Had our hearts broken over them and the light they brought. Oh, wait. Okay, wait, let me read that sentence again because I think it's an important one. Remember who they were as people and why we identified with her so much. This is when she's standing on her
I don't know who
had our
identified
hearts
with her.
broken over them and the light they brought to this world. Gotta advance. What you focus on, the energy you bring to this case and this house, that is how you will feel. If you feel disturbed, creeped out, or anything negative about this house and us living here, that is absolutely a you problem. Oh my God, I can't even. I know this exact person. I know this kind of person, and wow. Okay,
Can you
more, girl. Pace yourself. Pace yourself.
Can you unpin so we can see the whole screen, Miss Kelly?
What's that?
Can
I'm
you
sorry.
unpin
Oh
so we
yeah. I'm
can see
sorry.
the-
Sorry about that.
Oh.
I forget to do that. Sorry. There you go. Okay, wait. I don't want to break the flow here. Got to stay in character. Okay. We are happy, feel all the love and light here, and hope you can change your mindset. Oh, now she's schooling us. Terrific. At some point, the only monsters that lived in this house is states away in a cell. It is not my responsibility to get you to see us living here in a positive light. This is something you actively choose. Then why all of the fucking words?
Mm-hmm. And why does she call Chris Watts CW like all of the YouTubers and everybody else?
Point. That's a good question. Maybe we could invite her on panel and ask her.
I would opt out that panel, but I would be in the chat all the way live, Kelly.
I think I would need your help though. Oh boy. All right. Oh my God. And we're only at number 10. I'm so tired. This is exhausting. Okay. Number 10. Whoop. Hold it. Don't go away without me, girl. Don't go. No. You're talking too fast. Wait a minute. Okay. Okay. Dallas protest too much, girlfriend. Number 10. I did not make my initial post for clout, attention, or 5 minutes of fame. If I wanted that, I could have called 9 News weeks ago. I could have documented the entire purchase process and shared it on social media. I could have told everyone I knew instead of just a few close people. well, never mind. I'll come on
Go
that
ahead,
later, though.
girl.
I definitely would have made a public post. It would not, come on, go, have deleted the post and completely deactivated my social media within 9 hours of making the post if I wanted fame. The people who screenshotted it and shared it, they wanted the attention.
Well, you started it.
It was worth it.
You started it. That's why it got screenshotted.
The best part is
Exactly.
that we don't even know who screenshotted it. So, there's that.
They're very aware of what's happening.
Wow. Well, I don't know. My dad once told me if you don't want people to wait, no, well, okay. Yeah, no. If you don't want people to know you did something, then don't do it in the first place.
That's right.
Or don't
No,
post
don't
it.
heard that. Yeah.
Or don't post it. I don't know.
Don't do it. Doing is posting. Posting is an action. Here, wait. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. Hold it. Did I lose it? Oh, crap. I hit right on
It's
it.
very apparent that they care about what people say, and they
She
replied to
does.
it. I wonder what it is that they want to get from it, or do they think it's gonna stop once they reply?
I mean,
Oh, she wouldn't have posted it in the first place if she didn't want the chance of it being known or found out for it to even be screenshotted. So, like, I just feel like we're being gaslit at this
That part,
point.
Crime Pod.
This is freaking weird stuff. But we're on number 11. My realtor did make a post that was also shared and spread around. She celebrates all of her wins, and she so deserves. And this was no different. She had no ill intentions, handled it beautifully, asked our permission before posting it, and is one of the best people I know. Yeah. Stop berating her for a post. When people started asking if it was the Watts house, she addressed it and answered it honestly. Y'all have to go find jobs or something to avoid picking people apart this way for something you were never involved in and never will be involved in. It's mine. Oh my God, this is so weird.
She doesn't talk about how her realtor faced disciplinary action from the company she was with because of how she handled all of this.
That's right. I was about that. Thank you for reminding
I
us.
dislike that people assume that those that talk about true crime or talk about these things don't have actual 9-to-5s for actual jobs.
I
Like,
know.
That part.
Like, why do you think we're doing? Why do you think we're doing late night? Why do you think we're doing late night lives?
Watch the Obsession. You're probably watching.
But like, why do you think we're doing all this at night? It's because we're doing shit during the day, yo. We're doing other things.
It's just ignorant, yo. Okay, number 12. To the few of you choosing to continue to drive around my house taking pictures, if only I lived that close, I would do it all day long.
Okay, that's bad.
Except for when I'm at work. Even though it's now occupied by a family, we see you, bitch. Do you honestly go to sleep at night believing you are honoring and respecting Shannan and her family by doing this?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Who says this is everybody's objective, though? Not everybody has to, I do respect Shannan. I do like to honor Shannan when appropriate. But it's like everything is centered around the idea that everything about this house and connected to it should be the honor of Shannan. I'm so sorry. Like, she has
Which
passed.
is the opposite of what she claims, and that's the part that's annoying.
Oh, wait, I have 2 more sentences. You look pathetic, and our favorite word, obsessed. Please stop. At least her mama taught her to use her manners. She did say please. Yeah, wow. Oh my, no, there's more though. Hold it. Holy shit. Oh my God, what's wrong with this person? Okay. Wow. This is why I never cared who moved in there. I subliminally knew this was hiding underneath a rock. It was like, ooh, why did you turn that
very
rock over? It's so ugly.
I saw it immediately and hated it. Okay.
She is frustrated.
All right. Okay. We just got this little bit left, guys. Good things. I'm losing my voice. If you even got this far, oh, girlfriend, I did. Thanks for reading. Please respect my privacy, my family, and our home. The Frederick Police Department has been on our side and is watching out for us day and night. If you step on my foot or property with intentions to harm us or harass us, we know our rights. Show some respect. Last, a big, massive, loving thank you to the many who have showed us much love and support. Thank you to the friends and family who come over and I can't read that fast. Well, I got to pause it. Thank you to family and friends who have blah, blah, blah support. created some amazing memories in this house. You have already helped fulfill our intention to put love back in here. Thank you to the neighbors for giving us the warmest welcome. She wants everyone to know she had a big party.
So why is she not in the IT club in the neighborhood if they gave
I
her
don't
the warmest
know.
welcome?
And letting us know how happy you are that we're here. Now she's telling us that people are happy that they're her. It has meant everything to us. Thank you for not kicking us while we were down. Thanks for being you. We will never forget that. Honestly, there is so much more I could say. Please, is there really though? I don't know. Hopefully, this conveys a couple of our points. Yeah, at least 12. Please move on and let us live in peace. Is that really so much to ask? Damn.
Yes.
Holy shit. Give that woman a freaking, like, I don't know, Klonopin.
I'm so glad I didn't have to read this off and that you had to go find it because it's so much better.
Oh my God. I'm literally sweating. It's hard.
Man, I would give her more of like a Risperidol.
Yeah, right. Yeah, well, I'm gonna let an MD play around with, the titration and dosages and stuff, but something like that. Yeah.
Lorazepam, she's having breakthrough anxiety.
Man,
Wow, guys. Wow, that was just so crazy. I don't
that
even
was a
know.
lot.
That was whoa. I mean, that was wow. That was
But
like
she contradicted herself. Like she said, well, if I really wanted, I forget what point it was. I'm not certain if it was 8 or something like
She
that.
would have
But
called 9 News.
yeah. And then it was like, I wouldn't have made a post and deactivated my Facebook account. Okay, well, you made the post and then thought, oh shit, and then deactivated your Facebook account. Had you have not wanted the attention, you wouldn't have initiated it by making the post to begin with. You would have just silently bought the home, silently renovated it, silently went about your life and not went on this whole thing and made a spectacle of everything. Like if you want things to be inconspicuous, you will be inconspicuous. She made a spectacle. Point blank period.
exactly. I mean, this is crazy. That's like
It's
really.
nuts.
Whew. Oh my
And then
goodness.
she's gaslighting all of us and everyone else in this whole world that it bats an eyelash that way, gaslighting us like we're the issues or whatever. Well, girl, you knew what you were walking into.
That's right. And by the
And you
way,
know
we
what
are
you're walking
behavioral
out of.
professionals and smart people up here, and we can smell your gaslighting from a mile away.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So, like she said, cluster B. Hello.
That's great.
And all I would like to say is point 13. So why you moving, pumpkin? Like
Right. You're leaving Shirley abruptly. I wonder why.
Oh my gosh. Yes, thank you. There's a conversation in chat. NK is hot. NK is not. Anaphylaxis. She's going to get the final word. NK is very average. Thank you. Yes. In some ways, and in other ways, she's horrific. But moving on.
She's very girl next door ish.
And also manly-ish at the same time.
Oh
God.
So good.
Yeah. Oh boy. You guys can keep talking. I need a breath.
I'm here for it. I'm a fan.
Back to chat.
I've never heard of this before, so thank you for talking about this and these 12 points. This person seems very frustrated with a lot.
I forgot about it too until I was preparing for this video. I was like, oh, where's that crazy rant of, and then I can only, like I said, I can only find 6. So yeah.
Well, you know me, I'll start searching for you right away. You just tell me.
Oh yeah, I know.
I knew it was on Neek's Peaks. I just didn't know the rules of it because Neek's Peaks was like hot because the realtor threatened to copyright strike anybody who showed the front of the house. It was
She can't. What? Listen, y'all, I've had so many people asking me questions about this recently because somebody who used to like to copy strike me is copy striking a whole bunch of other people. You know who you are, Batch. You better watch out because I am watching you day and night and I don't ever take my eyes off of you. And also, just other people are doing that copyright strike thing. Here's the thing. If you're going to copyright strike someone and it's going to be legitimate, here's the criteria that you need to meet in order for your claim to be validated. Number 1, you must have a legal copyright or patent on the material which you are striking another person for, claiming that material is yours. If you have not gone through the process of applying for, obtaining, and defending your patent or copyright, then you are not legitimately able to make a copyright strike. Yes, you can go ahead and do it anyway. Have fun, because you do that too much. First of all, you just look like a big dodo. You know that you're a big dodo, and eventually YouTube is going to sanction you for that. So it's so crazy to me. All these people throw around copyright strikes like it's just like, I don't know. It's a legal thing. It's a legal thing. A strike is illegal. It's like a legal not even. It's like filing a legal complaint.
Dude, that was happening around the Kairagi stuff.
Yeah.
Wait, who's throwing out copyright strikes? Is it the person that left, who shall be unnamed, or is it someone else?
Email
me.
Okay, yeah, I will. Gotcha.
You can put it in the private chat.
Yeah. Can you see the private
Okay.
chat?
Yes.
Okay. So anyway, so copyright. So what were you saying, Chris? That realtor was copyright striking people because they were showing pictures of the house?
Yes.
That's freaking absurd.
No, she was saying she could.
Oh, well, she's a liar.
She totally can't. She can't.
No, she can't. And that's why
Unless you got a copyright patent on the image of the front of the house, and I don't think that she does. And guess what? Even if you did, all you do is change your angle ever so slightly, and then you need to get another copyright for that, meaning you need an infinite number of copyrights for every infinite angle of which you can look at that house, and I'm sure that that's just not practical.
And that's Nick's peak. It's like, I would never indulge in this, except she came after YouTubers and copywriting it. I don't like it. So
I'll have
yeah.
to watch that later. Yeah.
So Kelly, quick question. So now that you've read Martin Luther's 12 grievances,
Yes.
how does that align with,
Protestant
or
Reformation.
does it change does it change what you've heard or what you heard about why they're leaving or anything like that?
It makes me feel like the person I spoke with. Now let me put the context of this person that I spoke with. It's not somebody who I know very well. Like, the Idaho case, I have the guys I talked to, or inside the case, and I've gotten to know them very well. We talk all the time. We talk about things that don't have to do with that. It's not like that at all. Somebody who knows that I have this channel, who's not even part of this channel, connected me with this person, blah 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 blah. So it's a very
distant.
Yeah, it's like not a close relationship. I'm very careful with it. I don't really push things. I'm just, like whatever they're going to tell me, I just kind of accept it. I didn't really even ask very many questions because I'm just grateful that I have that little bit of extra information. But what I'm feeling like now, and I was thinking about this as I was reading that, or really in the spaces between when I wasn't reading that, because I don't think my brain can read and think about this both at the same time, but you know what I mean? Like, I think I was thinking about things that were said in our conversation. And I now think they were being very polite, and I am going to go back and see if I can politely ask them some questions, and hopefully they're not watching this live stream, actually.
Fingers crossed.
If you are, I'm sorry. I just get a little funny when I'm tired. I can't help it.
No, I know. That's why I said trigger warning. Kelly is tired now. So she's being silly. She's a human being.
By the time I do a Friday night live stream, I've been up usually since 5:45, and I literally have been working that whole time, like that. So I get a little cuckoo. But
I like it. She's spunky. I love it.
Yeah,
of course, that's what we love about her.
You can't read these 12 points too early in the day. They just don't hit the same.
Right,
no,
that is true. That's true. I mean, what do you guys in chat think about the manifesto we just read here? Anybody? I'm sure they. Here, let me look through the comments.
Sorry, I was reading chat. What?
Oh yeah, no, I'm looking through chat. Is there anything you want to point out in chat?
Kelly, when you said manifesto, I spit water all over my comforter.
Well, some people in chat are seeing it as like Mean Girls, like where like people are being mean about being mean to the Millers.
We're being mean.
I think some people are taking it like that, like we're being mean to her.
I'm sorry.
Oh, then you're on the wrong channel.
Yeah.
My gosh.
I mean, it just really struck me. I can't help it. My reaction is my reaction. Maybe I should start a reaction channel. Then I could save a shitload of time. Oh my God.
I'll be your first sub there.
I'll be second.
All I have to do is go grab some videos and react to them. That would be
Talk
amazing.
about it.
Why didn't I think about that?
I think it's just so interesting though that she just decided to do this. She must have been that upset, that frustrated. So, I mean, I want to feel bad for them, but
I know, and
but
my,
it's
oh, I'm sorry.
weird.
Go ahead.
No, it's just weird that they decided to take on this thing and now are like complaining about it. Like it's a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
So it's just like the irony of it all is just a lot.
It is.
I'm sorry, like I
right.
can't see it being a mean girl thing to whoever did state that in the chat. It's not a mean girl thing.
Nothing for it.
When you put something publicly, if you're making something public, you're exposing yourself and making yourself open to criticism or
Right.
scrutiny, to be under scrutiny of the public that you're exposing yourself to, essentially. So with that being said, it's not like, this person's private and, well-to-do, keeping to themselves, whatever, and then people are just, ripping into X, Y, and Z. Then no, that's not, it's not happening that way. No, you're coming to the public, and therefore the public is responding to you in the same attitude and stance that you're having with everyone. Now they're having it with you. So no, it's essentially, it's not mean girls. It's called reciprocation of energy,
Well,
matching
she
energies.
diagnosed everybody on
true.
this channel as mentally ill because we care about this case. So that's where she and I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
work out.
Yeah, there are some really legitimate things to talk about in there. I just was, everything that was said, but that was just like, wow, man. It's like you have to nibble it in tiny little bites, and that would take us a few live streams, or you just have to, you got to just gulp that motherfucker down, and that's what she did.
Somebody said she was involved in Thrive in the chat.
Possibly.
Oh dear.
Oh, that would be interesting. Yeah,
The
copyright.
house is in foreclosure. No, it isn't.
The whole DA Rourke thing just kind of throws me for a flip, Miss Kelly. I know you've made videos about that, but
I have, but just 1 second, honey. I just wanted to revisit
Yes.
the foreclosure. So if somebody is saying that the house is in foreclosure or anything like that, could you please provide a link to the public records? Because I've looked through all those public records. I actually had a long story. Yeah, the public records have been looked through, and I haven't found anything. I could certainly miss something. I've been wrong before. I was even wrong during this very live stream. I could be wrong in the future, but I don't really feel like I'm wrong about this. But maybe I am. But if that is the case, if you could please provide me the link to the public an announcement, that would be amazing, and then we can set the record straight for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's all. March on, little soldiers. Go ahead.
Honey Bun said she believes NK is a man after this whole thing. I'll keep scrolling.
Yeah.
The house is in foreclosure. Honey Bun says that she's going to make a wall decor that said, "This is our house. Leave us alone." But I will be your first buyer. Your first buyer. But Kelly, you were supposed to find the freaky one with "This is our home."
Oh, right. I was planning on playing EVPs today. Anyway, thank you very much. This is great. All right. I realized I was being referenced, so don't worry. Sorry. Let me just get back down to current times, and I'm gonna get EVP. Okay, I'm gonna let you guys look through chat, and I'm gonna go grab our EVPs. Let's see, did I do the video or I can't remember if I made it. God, I make so many freaking. Oh, I don't even. I guys, would anybody like to help with What's the Obsession channel doing things like
Miss
anything?
Kelly, I have told you. I have told you that I would help you.
I know. I need to assign people to specific things though, because
I mean, if you trust my work.
I mean, I would, but you got let me know what you'd be interested in doing, and yeah, we could totally work something out.
Let's talk about it through email or text. You have my number.
Yes, I do. Very good. All right, let me just look this up super quick. You guys may keep talking if you like. You are granted permission to speak.
This Vicious said, "I feel anyone who buys this house should anticipate some level of attention. People
Yeah.
speculating or driving by. I would
That's what I'm
monetize that.
saying.
I will be in your picture for $5. We'll get this mortgage paid off real fast."
Right? That's awesome. Oh boy. I know, right? See, exactly. You have to be resourceful. If it is financial struggles, like I said, you got to be a hustler, baby. There's always a way to work things out.
It's funny you say that. I'm working on something very Watts related for school. I'm doing a
Mhm.
lecture where they're kind of the thing that I keep coming back to for a master's
Mhm.
level course. And one thing I said today is I believe that if Shannan Watts were still alive, she would still be in that house today because she just had that hustle. She would have figured something out.
She would have.
You can't evict, you can't really foreclose on somebody who's pregnant. She would still be in that house. That's all I can say.
Yeah,
By
I think
hook
so
or by
too.
crook, she'd be there still.
Absolutely. Whether it was, because she went back to work for Dirty South
Yep.
deal
Yep.
and, from North Carolina, however that works, you know what I'm saying? Or if she,
She'd
yeah,
be there.
I think so too. I think so too.
Yeah, she would have had to leave the MLM alone. She would have had to
Oh, yeah.
to
Because I
go
mean,
back
that's
to
just
like
freaking
work.
highway robbery. Yeah.
Which would have killed her
Yeah.
spirit.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
They've
But
had a
sometimes you
huge
got to do what you
falling.
got to do.
That team has had a huge falling out.
Oh, yeah.
Hmm.
I don't know about that. Tell us about that briefly.
So she was the upline has split.
Mm-hmm.
Um.
Like Addie and,
Hmm.
okay.
And NA
Okay.
and a lot of the people who she signed up are obviously gone, which is what happened with
Mm-hmm.
MLMs. Her friend from North Carolina, who I think provided Forget Thrive, the
Uh-huh.
friend Lauren, who said that who set up all the first like GoFundMe's and said that Miss Rusick
Yes.
told her they're gonna report that he's confessed, but really he's just said that he knows where the
Right.
like
Right.
that friend.
Yes.
The nobody speaks to her now. Like the Rusicks are angry at her
What?
now. Yeah, I just got a bunch of inside like Thrive scoop.
Okay. Wow. Huh. That's crazy.
Hmm.
I wonder
The
what happened.
team that used to be rock stars are now something legends, and then there's a separate team that spun off of that.
Okay.
Mm.
Hmm. Wow.
It's Thrive-a-Palooza this weekend, guys. We're missing out.
Thrive
Oh,
a
damn. I
palooza.
gotta
Oh
go.
dear.
Oh, that's so weird. But I've been involved in that weird before. Sorry, I'm still looking for this one video. It's like, I don't know why I'm trying to
Oh,
find
is
my
it
history.
the I think it was the canine walkthrough with the
Yeah, yeah, it was. It
with
was.
It was.
Jane.
Oh, it wasn't
Yeah.
with Jane. It was the one where the
No,
police
no,
were
no. It
called.
was. It was with Jane. It was with Jane. It was
Was
definitely with
it? Because
Jane.
I
Yeah.
remember that
You
was
know
the
what? Wait a
one.
minute. I'll just get that one because I was trying to get the one that already had labels on it, but I think it's actually better to get the one without labels on it because then you can actually hear it yourself. So I am just going to get the original. Okay, very good. Yeah.
Oh, I
Got it.
thought it was the one where they saw the lady with the black hair enter where we heard this is our home. But
Nope.
the dog was with CC I'm with CC was
Mm-hmm.
that one.
I'm with
And I
CC and this is our home. Yep, both of them.
yep. And
Yeah, that
actually
was when Jane was in the house.
Most
yep.
of these strong like eerie EVPs are with Jane and Cody.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's better if you watch the original video, and that way you know
Yes,
it's not doctored.
that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just got a little lost. I'm tired, and you guys snapped me out of it.
I get it for you.
I
Miss
got
Kevin.
I got it. Oh, thank you though. I just grabbed it though, sweetie. But thank you. I appreciate
You
it.
know what I always thought about the I'm with CC?
Mm-hmm.
I always thought maybe that meant Shanann meant they both passed in the house together. Every time
Oh,
I hear that, that's what I think.
That's
Oh,
just so
yeah.
sad.
No, it
Every
is.
time I hear that, that's where my head goes.
Wow.
oh, that gave me goosebumps.
You know,
Yeah.
look, the only thing, a lot of people talk about what like people the reason why I'm attached to this case is just I just have to say it because of what happened to the girls.
Yep.
What happens to Shanann happens a lot in cases, but what happened with the girls, that is just such a weird thing. What is it? What do you call it? Anomaly. It's an anomaly.
Mm-hmm.
And
And like that, there was a lot of hate that happened. That whatever happened with the girls, there was a lot of hate, and we know that NK
Oh, yeah.
had a lot of dislike for them.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's so funny, Aura. Bella has my heart. Cece reminds me of my younger sibling who I fight with all the time now. So maybe that's why Bella has my heart. But I actually am fascinated by Shannan herself and how unlikable but lovable she is, and how she became the most unsympathetic victim. Like I have done papers and research and lectures on what about her makes her so unsympathetic, and it's really sad and interesting at the same time.
Well, you know, people that are like higher up in MLMs, they all have the same personality, because I'm involved in one myself, and I actually see similar personality traits with people that have a lot of people under them that depend on this. You almost become this like walking billboard, this kind of like in this person just to sell your life.
But see, I go back to like her high school not being likable. I'm a Jersey girl myself, which is I think part of it. I'm half Italian, which might be the other half of it, but it's the dynamic of their relationship. And I shared on my first live here why I think I had a similar dynamic in a relationship, which is probably what I think brings me in. But it is Shannan that actually fascinates me, because in some ways she's a dime a dozen, and in some ways she's just not. And if
Well,
it's her, it's anybody.
she found popularity in the MLM that gave her the attention she wanted, but she had to be a part of this pyramid scheme to have that.
And it's but it's her backstory of being poked on the school bus with needles and never having anywhere to belong and always losing friends. I'm always curious about people who can't keep friends, but she found this thing that she had always been looking for, and I think she would have left Chris before she left that MLM.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's a very interesting thought.
That
Yeah,
she needed that belonging really badly, and
She
at her
did.
age is very strange to want to belong that bad. We all
Was
desire
marriage
community and friends, but it was very strange at her age to need to belong that
Do you think
badly.
that even just having a family and a husband and was a part of her trying to belong, and the way she was posting in this community, in this area?
Oh, Chris was she take or leave him. She had no respect for him, and it comes
Oh, we're
across
not
over and
bashing
over
Shannan.
again. No.
No,
It's
not at
not
all.
Shannan bashing. I'm fascinated with her. I see so much of me in her.
Yeah,
It's
wait. Yeah,
ridiculous.
wait.
And I
We're not Shannan bashing. Like,
No,
so
no,
what,
no.
the point that I just want to give you some background. Chris and I were talking about during the last live stream, and I think I find this to be completely true, and I feel like I've had this sense about Shannan, but it's just said it in a way that I wasn't able to or couldn't or wouldn't. That that Shannan had this profound loneliness that was the drive, and now the rest I'm just kind of like expanding on that was the driving force for a lot of what she did, including getting involved in this MLM. And I'm sorry, guys, listen, she got involved in this MLM, and listen, certainly life is hard. I say it all the time. Life is hard. Life is really fucking hard for all of us in different ways. And it was for her. And we do what we need to do in the moment to get by, because it's not easy. And really to live is to get through each day sometimes. Right.
Yeah.
And so, that is how she found what it is she
Exactly.
needs. But truth of the matter is, unless they always say, in business, you have to have money to make money. And damn, ain't that really the truth? Unless, the odds are with you, like we're talking lottery winning odds, but in your business endeavors. Now, so you have to invest money in these MLMs. If you ever want to get anything back, I've shared with you guys my experience a few times. I got totally screwed over by 2 MLMs. I tried another one. I started to catch on. I went into the third one intentionally understanding how they were, making money off of people, that they front load their commissions and all this and blah, blah, blah. And I figured I just sat around, and because I was mad that I'd been taken advantage of, I lost money. I lost friends. I lost confidence.
Yeah.
I lost I was like, what the fuck did I just get sucked into?
Relationships.
I
Sometimes
felt
it is relationships.
terrible about myself. And so I was like, you know what? I am going to actually end up on top. I'm going to win this game. So I figured I picked a company that I actually liked the product, and it was Beauty Counter. I still have a bunch of their stuff because I had to buy a ton of it, like to make it look like other people were buying from me in order to earn the commissions that are front loaded for the
You have to look like you're doing well.
Yeah, I decided that I was only going to do it for 6 months because that was going to be the only time when it was in my favor. Because after that 6-month point, and they have you sucked in, and you're like hooked on it, and you've made the friends, and you don't want to lose them, and you have so much invested, your heart, your soul, the few pennies you have, and whatever.
I
and
get
then
it.
all of a sudden, your incentives and your ability to make money like drop off a cliff. So I was like, I've got to be done then. I knew that I could do it, and I made a good amount of money. And wow, guys, if anyone needs any Beauty Counter products, just back a truck up into to my front door, and it's like Shannan's basement, but with Beauty Counter stuff. And like that's just how it is. So now that she, because of her profound loneliness, as Chris said, she found, a community with the MLMs, and there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. But in order to stay in that community and to get the praise that you want, I remember even, my gosh, I wasn't
you have to be
like
a certain
really
kind of person.
Yeah, I wasn't really like all that into it. But like when my like upline would like give me a personal call or send me a little gift, I was like, oh my god.
Well, guess what
like,
I got in the mail today?
Yeah,
I got my
exactly.
happy 6-year anniversary card from the person that I'm under.
Exactly. And so
that's what I got today. They make you feel
Right.
special. Yeah.
Yes. And so now it's like not only does Shannan now all of a sudden, and this is what MLMs intentionally do, they take as much from you as possible in the beginning because it's a numbers game, and only so many people they're going to be able to continue to take from after those first 6 months or whatever. But by the time you get past that point, you have so much invested. It's like going through a divorce to leave it.
Yes, exactly.
I have studied this, documented it for a different person. Every rank Shannan hit, she hit it in 2016. She did not change ranks at all in 2017. And she made it to her 80K, and 200K was next, which she made posthumously, which is its own thing.
Right.
But it is not a critique of her, because we are, and I said this in my first one, we are not made to be islands. And one thing positive I will say about Shannan, I saw in her the desire to be something bigger and be something more. And it got her in trouble, I think, financially, but she just wanted so much out of life and maybe went about it the wrong way. But there are a handful of people you meet who are like, this small town ain't for me. Like, I want to be big. I want to do something big. And she had that. How it manifested itself is its own sort of story, but she was not going to be some small town girl in the remake of Still Magnolias.
And she didn't deserve what happened to her either, for no matter what she did.
Yeah, her work ethic was just unmatched. I just think MLM wasn't for her.
Her work ethic is the reason why NA came to the house, because she's like, she never just not responds to me. She always checks in.
MLMs, if you're talking about the need for financial support to make money for yourself, MLM is not the way for anybody unless you're like on that ground floor. I mean, it's just not. MLMs are there they serve a social purpose for some, but let me tell you, friends, if you don't know this yet, if you don't trust me, then maybe you're gonna learn a lesson for yourself. If you trust me, please take my word for it. MLMs are not meant for you to make money. They're just not.
I agree. Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I second that.
But
I'm still in it.
Yeah.
But that thinking that like I have something different and I can do something different. And somebody said that her work ethic was unmatched, but unfortunately it was misplaced. And I always go back to, why did they leave Longmont Ford? Chris was making, they got approval for that house based on just what Chris was making then.
Yeah.
And she was the what's the asshole guy? Lindstrom? I can't stand him.
Yeah.
But he was saying how like she was number one in sales. I'm like, if they had just stayed there, because if you look at their bankruptcy filing, I think they made 120 or 130 that year. Like, where could they have been if he had made it to master mechanic, doing what he loved? And maybe she could have scaled her days back in sales if she was that good. I just wish I wish she had done pharmaceutical sales, just something that
Absolutely.
Oh, she would have
actually
been incredible.
Yeah.
amazing, amazing. I don't know why he went into the oil industry to start at the bottom and throw away his
Yeah.
education. There's so much about this case, and I think it's just why
Yeah.
it sticks with me, where you're like, mistake, mistake. God, that's going to have long-term implications. But I think
Absolutely. That's right.
yep, yep.
No, absolutely. So, all right. So I'm going to move to the EVPs. Um,
Eek.
yeah. Okay. So we're just gonna watch the body cam footage. I'm gonna get close to where I know that they are, and yeah, here we go. And so we all know the giggles. The giggles don't impress me. I'm not sure what's up with that, but I just don't want to hear them again. Too many weird giggles. All right. Sorry, I'm just scanning. Okay. So we're gonna start about here. So they're not going to be noted or anything on the screen. So we're just listening for ourselves.
What's that? I do, yep. That's where that's at. Okay. Okay. So there should be in that basket some of the kids' clothes and their nightgowns that they may or may not have had on that night. Not me. Just yeah. Well, you may have carried something. It's possible. Definitely scent coming out of there. Yeah. So there's your attic access right there. Do I need to climb up there? You know, I've had sometimes it's just my gloves. Since this place has been so infinitely clean recently, that's kind of interesting to me. Unless they just that's the way they did.
I thought this was so smart.
See any kind of dust or anything on that shelf where somebody might have. There's no. Doesn't look like anything. No. Okay. That's what we needed to know, though. No, it has not been disrupted. Okay. So that's good to know that, though. Yep. Maybe the bathroom is especially the bathroom. Okay, so this is their bedroom and master bath, and then the girls' rooms.
Oh, wait, hold it. Sorry, I was reading comments. I gotta go back a little bit.
So that's good to know that, though. Yep. Maybe the bathroom is especially the bathroom. Okay, so this is their bedroom and master bath, and then the girls' rooms.
Oh, that's not the runaround where you hear it. I just want to watch Bella's room, and then we're gonna go to where we hear them. Well, you might hear some. I mean, the ones that I know we hear. Oh.
I think the EVPs were happening downstairs.
Oh, were they?
Real quick, Miss Kelly.
Go ahead.
You saw how they were trying to move the vent or the little thing from the laundry room?
Right.
Okay, and then so stuff came down, and that was them proving that nobody could be hiding up there, right? Because
Right.
if someone was up there, you'd see the
Right.
debris. But the lady cleaned it up,
Mm-hmm.
and then like just threw it away somewhere in the house. Wouldn't that be like the opposite thing to do? Because later the house is going to be investigated, or it's already like a crime scene or something. You're just throwing shit away. Does that make sense, or am I just being?
Well, I mean, she's going to document what she did, you know.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
I mean, yeah, I don't see a problem with it, but I don't know.
I had to ask. Thank you.
Well, I mean, maybe there is, but I wouldn't, out of my knowledge base. Okay, what were you saying, Crime Pod?
Oh, the EVPs I think you're looking for were where they were downstairs.
Mhm.
I think the one where she was walking in Shannan's office closet was where they heard the giggle, and then
No, yeah, I know
when
that.
Jane was walking between the living room and the formal dining room was when they heard, I think it's my house. I believe so.
Well, I know where they hear "It's My House." Maybe it's heard another time too, and that would actually be interesting to check out. But thank you very much. I think I'm going to get to. I'm with CC, and this is our house are coming up in just a little bit here. But I was just also listening because there was a couple other like weaker things. I was just getting my headphones on that I thought I had heard before, so I was just checking out for that too.
I know, and I can't remember where they are, like where they are in the house when it happens. I forget.
I know. I remember. I got it. I got you. I got you, girl. I got you. But the
All
place
right,
you
girl.
mentioned, maybe we should go back to because, maybe there is something there that like that I missed, or you know what I mean. So it's interesting to compare it too. I think I know where they are. Well, here, let me play a little more, and if for some reason I don't find them, then nah, I will. But maybe we'll find them. Okay. Okay, so this is Cody. The only other time that Cody hits in the house is here. I think it's the indication bark. The 2 and the pause is here in Bella's room. Oh, one. Okay.
What's that?
Yeah.
Yep. See if you can go in. Here. Got a book under there. And a rock. Oh, hello. Just a big book.
No storage or nothing. Now see, this is a bed though, so sand will go down. You think somebody's sleeping in there.
That was my glasses.
Now, did you get everything?
Yeah, do you want me to pull the book out? It's literally right here.
Oh.
That's it? Uh-huh.
That's what he was showing me.
Okay, that's what it is. I'm going to step back in the laundry room for a second.
Okay.
Okay.
I won't be okay.
I need to grab some photos.
That was a good boyfriend. So he knows.
And this is the toilet when the water's weird.
No water in this toilet. Nope.
Wonder why.
None. The toilet's dry. Oh, yes. Uh-huh.
Lift it that and see if there's water in the tank.
Let me hook this back up.
It's weird.
It's
Something I noticed is that the kids' room don't get filmed very often. I think it was just here.
and the master.
They don't get what?
The kids' room, the green one with the books, that one doesn't get filmed very often. Like the first video, the first responder that went, if you look at the video, they show everything but him going into the green room.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. All right, this is our home. It's coming up here.
Let's turn that fan off. Okay. Shh.
Hear it? Did you guys hear it?
Yep.
So for those of you in chat that didn't hear it, she's just as like the camera's looking to like the walls kind of, it would be to our left right now, you can hear
This is our home.
I think that's one of the clearest ones, yeah. This is our home.
That was so clear.
It's almost like someone's there saying it.
I know. I'm going to go back one more time.
But this couldn't have been edited, right?
I
when
mean,
it was published.
I didn't pull up the original, like the original digital download body cam. I have it on my computer, but this was just easier to access. But
No, yeah, but there's no
I
way.
No, I mean, I don't. I mean, yes, it could be, but I don't think it was.
Yeah.
No, because you can see it on the original body cam, or not see the original, hear the original on the body cam.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. I mean, it could
Yeah.
have been added. I mean, even to what we believe is the original, there's always a possibility someone could have messed with something. You know what I mean? But you know, it's consistent across the board. It's on the original stuff. So yeah. This is our home. Crazy.
Here's a pair of her shorts.
No, did I not? I missed it. I'm with Cece. Stuff's in the garage too. Oh my gosh, it's just crazy.
Yeah. For me, it was the Giggle.
Oh really? We can listen to Giggle. Let's just make sure.
And I don't know if it sounds bizarre, but you can almost tell by the different things that are being said in the EVPs. It's the same voice that's saying it, the same airy, light kind of voice.
Yeah, I agree. Sounds it's really crazy.
I think the reason, like, if you're into the paranormal, you can hear it because it's like the spirit is screaming it. That's why you can hear it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, that's why it's audible. They're like screaming it to you.
Huh.
Maybe the bathroom is especially the bathroom. So this is their bedroom and master bath. And
Oh, there it is. Okay. I got it. I heard it. Okay. So this is I'm with Cece. I'll go back 10, 15 seconds.
Definitely scent coming out of there.
Yeah.
You hear that?
Ooh, yes.
Yeah, I'm with Cece. Yeah, I'll go back and again for those of you that might want to try to hear it again. So I'm going to go back about 15 seconds or so. Yeah, oops. Yeah, I'll go there.
Definitely scent coming out of there.
Yeah.
I'm with
So there's your
Cece.
attic access right
Yeah,
there.
that's crazy. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Do I need to climb up
Here, I'm
there?
just gonna take it to when they're out in the garage. I'm gonna read through some comments and then we'll probably wrap up.
Okay.
Is that, oh well, watch my video that it'll drop tomorrow for more of basement. It's all about the basement. And it's pretty basementy.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember it. Oh, wait, we're gonna go back to the giggles. Okay. They heading from there, yeah. Okay, I'll go back a little bit. Okay, there you go.
Getting more and more tentative as we go through the house. You notice that? That doesn't necessarily mean, it could mean a high intense fight. So it could mean several things because the body chemistry changes.
Sure.
On all that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. A lot of these are motion activated. These are the shoes that she took the scent off of.
Okay. That's you. So there's probably a first ender here.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. What in the world is that? Wow.
Wiggle, wiggle.
That sounded like a toy though, legit.
Yeah. Jane, you can tell, is freaked out.
Yeah, it sounded like a kid toy.
It sort of sounds like it.
But she told her where to step to see if she could replicate it, and it wasn't
I heard it.
replicated.
Yeah.
But maybe there was something motion censored outside this room.
It
I don't
did.
know, but it like outside of the room.
Because all he did was go straight in there.
This closet was insane to me.
Why?
Like the shoes. It was
Oh,
the
yeah,
shoes for me.
no.
And that random paint, that random pot up there painted.
I heard it. I definitely heard the same thing you did.
Yeah, and then he just sort of turned around and looked.
I will take your email, Lolly. Definitely. I will email you back very quickly. Thank you so much.
Was she on any? Oh no, she was pregnant. I was going to say, do you know about drug use in the house or pot?
Leave Jim alone.
Not that we know of.
Oh.
What's that?
Hold on, I'm going to send you a message in private chat. 1 second.
Some kind of access to the attic.
Probably in the garage would be
Maybe
my
they're just
guess.
intimidated by you, Chris.
Maybe I should finish
Oh,
that.
you're still back. You're back to the
That or upstairs.
Oh, there's an upstairs.
There's an upstairs. Yep, all the bedrooms are upstairs.
Well, let's do that.
You want to go up first?
Yeah.
Okay.
I always found
To
it
the right.
fascinating. She had this whole shoe closet, but a pair of cheap flip flops broke the
I
case.
know, and that's what everyone says she always wore those. Yeah.
I do. Yep.
I'm just gonna say this. I have a closet full of shoes that I do not wear, but it's like many, like at least over a dozen, and I wear like the same 2 pairs to work
Same.
and back. I like wait for the moment to wear the right shoe at the right time. It's weird.
That's a good thing.
So there should be in that basket some of the kids' clothes and their nightgowns that they may or may not have had on that night.
If you look at the rug on the floor, that's the rug the Millers have there still in front of the washer and dryer.
Oh, you're right.
Just like, yeah. Well, you may have carried something.
It's possible.
Hi, honey. How are you?
Definitely scent coming out of there.
Yeah. So there's your attic access right there.
Okay. So anyway, I'm gonna pause this. All right, guys. Woo! It's been 3 hours. I'm a bit tired. What are your guys' final thoughts?
I hope that you do another live like this to continue it because
Yeah.
it's interesting. The conversation is interesting.
Yeah.
You know?
No, it absolutely is. Yeah. What do you guys? What is it that you want to continue specifically? So I can fulfill your wish.
Oh my goodness. Calm down, lady.
I
I do like your uncensored thoughts about just the case in general, just going back. Remember years ago when we first met and how you started this entire thing, like your thoughts about this case and your insights about Nicole Kessinger. I think that's what that's why I came here. So I would like to go back now years later and go back about your opinions or have a discussion about how this all came about, I suppose, you know.
Cool. Awesome.
My dream would be one day that you would have like a free for all, but moderated.
Oh my
Almost like a
God.
what's your theory and why? Like it has to be supported with text and interviews
That's
and
exactly where the moderation always comes in because basically, if something's supported, we let it pretty much go here. So the moderation always is because there is lack of support. So that would be a free for all. And McJay, suspicious, everybody, it's okay. Jody, don't worry about girls. They're all freaking out right now. I can tell. I can sense it.
Well, because it could get out of hand.
I know. Oh, absolutely, it could. That would be very interesting. We could certainly try it.
But
I
it would
love
maybe
that
it's just
idea.
maybe keep it focused on just theories of like what actually happened on the 13th.
I think it just gets a little spicy when people blame one of the victims. You know what I mean? I think that's where people
definitely
kind of.
gets spicy. I think there's plenty of other reasons it gets spicy.
Oh yeah. No, well, yes.
That's
Well, I
certainly.
think we could do theories without necessarily like pinning blame to anyone. But I mean, I love that idea.
People, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I just want to clarify this because I say this all the time because I really believe it. So I don't really, I mean, I've had this channel for over 3 years now. It is so rare when I see somebody actually blaming the victim. I mean, people will say things that others interpret is, but it is not that. It is, a statement of something else that, I mean, you can see how somebody could make that jump and interpret it as, oh, you're blaming her for her own death and her children's death, but that's not really what is being said. So I just wanted to point that out. Yeah.
Agree, Kelly. I can see critiques about things or choices she made as parents or aspects of
Mhm.
her personality or filming them. And I always see it caveated, but she did not deserve to die, and neither did the kids. So I think that's for me where this case has a hole on my soul is the learnings, because there are so many
Yes.
families doing
Mhm.
this in
That's
crisis. We have
right.
YouTube families now. We have, like, she was a little bit ahead of her time as it relates to documenting every aspect of your
She
life.
was, yeah. Yep.
And so it's like, what are the things that we look for, and what was the
Yeah.
thing that we could and when I say we, I mean as outsiders. Like, for
Yeah.
example, I look at her messages with Addie and vomit. You don't
Mhm.
need somebody in your life to tell you
Right.
everything's okay. He's going to be fine once the baby is born. Said nobody ever.
Exactly.
Said
Exactly. Yeah.
nobody ever. Nobody
Right.
ever was fine when the baby was born. And so
Right.
it's like when our friends come to us and say, I'm afraid. Shanann said, I'm afraid. I need him to make
Yeah.
me feel safe. Like, she
That's
voiced
right.
it. And you
Yeah.
have people telling her, oh, girl, he loves you.
Yeah,
He'll be
that's right, and it
fine when the
also speaks
baby's
to the
born.
nature of those friendships that, you acquire perhaps through like that, something like an MLM. Like Addie was her upline. Addie,
Yeah.
like their friendship was based on, the other person supporting a totally different goal in their life. But I don't know. Yeah, we go
But
deep.
that's what Shanann couldn't understand. But like I said,
Yeah,
like, so I want us on this live chat. When a friend says, I'm scared,
that's right.
my door's
That's
open, my
right.
9
Yeah.
is loaded, girl, become like, I
Yeah,
don't take those little things. She said it twice too. Like, and
right.
I
I
just
Mm.
feel, people come on this NA bandwagon. I stand MA. Don't try it.
know.
She's told you she's a victim of domestic violence, which lets you know her reaction is going to be very different
And
anyway.
also, she was with Shanann the whole weekend, who was
Yep.
falling apart at the seams. 15 weeks pregnant, just found out her husband was cheating on her. She wasn't eating, she wasn't drinking. We all knew like how, what a mess she was. And also, she was friends with Sandy before she was friends with Shanann, who had just spent 6 weeks with her daughter and also
Yep.
knew what a mess Shanann was becoming. And they were talking. I think it would be
Yeah.
weird. I think it
100%.
would be terrible if NA wasn't checking on her before New
Right.
Year's Day.
100%.
But
And
still,
so,
she's
like,
an excellent friend. Yeah.
yeah, like, those are all like, I think Cassie left the entire Thrive thing because of this, but like,
Yeah.
those, like, forget the MLM, forget that Shanann posted the bad Santa Claus situation. Like,
Right.
let's get past all of that to like
Mhm.
get to the, could this have been prevented? And if my
Mhm.
friend is in this situation and I see a family in this situation, I get to do it directly and intimately because of my work. But I
Uh-huh.
think all of us see this all the time.
But saying let's get past the sand and all that. But at the same time, I want to go with that. But then I also say, well, if we see a friend posting videos like that repeatedly, where there's a behavioral pattern of them interacting with their child in a way that's leaving their child feeling, injured and not loved and not, then I also want people to bring that to
And
the
when I say
attention.
forget, I'm saying like like when we see it now. I'm not
Right,
saying
right.
like they are on the other side of heaven at
Right.
this
Oh,
point.
right,
Like,
right.
there's
Gotcha. Yeah, yeah,
nothing we can
yeah.
do about it.
Right,
But there
right.
is
Yeah.
friends that we can call
Right.
out. And I
Sure.
wonder if there was anybody in Shanann's life who was in a position to call her out.
And I wonder if people did, because people say, oh, and I said, at first I was like, my God, I was like angry at everybody in her life for not, doing something, for not like doing the hard thing and stepping in. And then I started to wonder, I wonder if people have, but those people have been
Are
left.
gone.
Yeah.
Have
Like,
people done that for you guys?
just one
Like
second.
in
Just
your
one second.
life, have
Wait, wait.
people
Yeah.
told
Yeah.
you?
Just one
Oh,
second.
yes.
Yeah.
Like Cindy Watts. Like Cindy Watts, as far as the people that were currently in her life, is really the only person I know that did stand up for her. And look what was, and whatever you think of Cindy, she was
Through
trying to
that.
discard her as completely and quickly as possible. And if people in my life done that, absolutely. Have I done that in other people's lives? Absolutely. Has it turned out both good and bad? Yeah, but certain personalities are gonna, really, if you say anything to challenge them, they are going to get rid of you. And I wonder if Chris
and I
ever
think
said
that was
anything
the
to
case.
Shannan if she would get rid of him.
That's true.
Because he never did.
I think that's what was going on a lot, though. Maybe she didn't have a lot of friendships that challenged her
Yes.
in that way. Like maybe they were just more like agreeable type friends that didn't
Yes.
really want to ruffle any feathers or go against the grain. So they just kind of said whatever they thought would
Appease
like
her.
like appease her, like
Yeah.
pacify her, like
Because like
everything's gonna
only
be
really good
okay.
friends will tell you the truth.
Because let me
Yes.
tell you, I was pregnant, and I said on my mother-in-law, there we are closer now that I'm divorced. There was no love lost. It was very clear I was talking about her in my Facebook post. I had two friends call and say, "Take it down and take it down right now." Like,
Yes,
we'll chalk it up
exactly.
to
Stuff like
pregnancy
that.
hormones. You
Yes.
have
You're
lost your
right.
mind.
Yeah.
You had to
Same.
have those
Same.
people in your life.
So the
Absolutely.
real friends, though.
Absolutely. That's
But you know
right.
what? Family, if friends fail in that aspect, then family should tell you, hey, this is not good.
Well, for some people, if family fails in that aspect, that's what friends are for. It all depends on your relationship to people in your life.
Well, that's what I'm saying. For me, it's the opposite. Like
Yeah.
I know I do not have friends that will tell me what it is, but my family will tell
Really?
me. Yeah.
And see, I think Shanann and her mom had a tepid relationship, even though I think they had
Yeah.
a very close tethering. Like, I've
Yeah.
watched Sandy lately, and it actually kills me to watch
Oh, I
her.
know. Same.
Dad might have felt bad about, we saw what she said to her drama teacher. He does
Yeah.
admit to having a problem with
Yeah.
alcohol.
Yeah.
So he may not feel like I'm in a position. Like, she just didn't have people who would speak truth to her.
That's what I'm
No.
And
saying.
No.
it's it reminds me of many celebrities that I've had as clients. That's a very
Well, most of
dangerous
her
place to
friends
be.
were MLM people. They're not going
Absolutely.
to tell you that you're doing bad financially when they need you to
Right.
they need you to
Yeah. They
invest
need you to
money.
stay. Yeah. Exactly. They need you to put more
Yeah,
money into. They need you to lose more
exactly.
money. Yep.
Yep.
Right.
True. That's
So those,
true.
and that's all she was surrounded by. So of course they're not going to tell her to like slow down on the spending because they needed her to spend money.
Well,
Yeah.
Christina Meacham, I think, was maybe because she tried and then she backed off. She shared that when her and Coral went to stay with Shanann after her surgery, she paid for food because Shanann wasn't sure she could absorb the cost of two mouths.
You
Like,
see?
she has come out and said quite a bit after. And if there was somebody she would have listened to, it was her. But every time I saw Christina make any amount of sense in the text messages, she would back off.
Yeah. Yep.
They just want you to be
That's kind of,
happy and sell their shit.
but see, that's where I'm like, yikes, because like she went all the way there to help her. Oh my, I'm just gonna keep my opinion to myself. Ooh.
Wait. Say what you were gonna say.
Yeah, say
Don't
it.
mind.
I'm thinking we couldn't absorb the cost of feeding two mouths, but meanwhile, she came all the way there to help her.
That's that
Like,
part.
Business
what
expense.
the world?
Yep.
And I'm pretty sure
Business
she,
expense.
yeah, like she took the time off of work, took the time away from her family home, probably paid for herself to go there. And I believe
To
she
come
was
from
there for 6
Hawaii.
weeks from
From
Hawaii
Hawaii.
for
Yeah.
6 weeks to take care of two children, an entire household, and probably helping her bathe and do whatever. I'm
And think about
speculating
this.
at this
Wait,
point.
They
wait,
had
wait,
to
hold it,
take
hold it. I'm
someone
missing
all
the
the way
point. Wait,
from
wait. I'm missing the
Hawaii
point. What's going
to
on?
do
What's the
that.
point? What's the point here? I just want to get your point. I'm sorry. I
Well,
like didn't get it.
no, she had said, I believe it was Chris that had said, about Christina's, commentary about Shanann not being able to afford basically for her and the daughter to be there and like for Shanann to feed them. And I'm just
Oh,
like, wow,
right.
that's kind of bold to do to a friend.
Oh,
She's coming
right.
all the way there to help
Oh, I
you.
remember that. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, yeah.
That's
Tina
horrible.
even said that she observed that. Well, she knew that Shanann had trouble
Right.
buying groceries when she was staying there. Yeah,
Right. And
yeah,
all that was
Um,
to show that she did let some people into her
yeah.
reality. And it's just,
Exactly.
to me,
Yeah,
they didn't do the right thing with it.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, and I think it was probably, but as being a friend, like being like Christina was probably very confusing because she's she's seeing one thing of Shanann, she's seeing what she presents on social media. She's seeing what she says, on the surface when she's not really being totally honest. She's seeing, the things she has, where she lives, da da da. And then, all of a sudden she's like there close up and she's experiencing something totally different. It probably was a little confusing.
Yeah, it's like kind of like a desert mirage. It's not what it
Yeah,
appears when you get
right,
as close as you
right,
think it would
right.
be. Because that's crazy. Like I know I just had spine surgery a little over a week ago. And if I had a girlfriend come that far, I mean, I've had my girlfriends come for just from in the same city to help
Yeah.
me do certain things and
Oh,
whatever. And I'm so grateful for that. Now, if I had a girlfriend come from that far to
yeah.
stay with me for 6 weeks while I healed on this 12-week recovery, that's the
Mhm.
least I could do is feed her.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
crazy to
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, that is, yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Yes. Yes.
My God, that's just, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I'm a standalone when it
Well,
comes
I
to
am
that. I'm
100%
just
with you
like,
on that. Yeah. I mean, that's just,
I never knew that. That's a pretty interesting fact, Chris. I like that.
yeah,
That's crazy.
that is crazy.
I mean, just when you think you know everything about the case and then you find out something new. That's what I
Oh,
love
there's always so
about
much.
true crime.
There's a,
But
oh, there. Oh, go
but
ahead, honey.
yeah, but I was saying, but it goes to show you that she had an awareness of her like she wasn't just this bumbling idiot who didn't
Yes.
understand that there wasn't enough. She, am I coming to your house to feed you and take care of your kids and buy the groceries and cook? The answer's no. Or I'm
But
doing it for a few friends, but to me that let me know she understood the severity of what she was going through, but it
Mhm.
also
yeah,
showed a certain entitlement to your point.
Uh-huh.
but if the closest person, if that the closest person to you is the furthest away physically, what does that tell you about the personal relationship she had, like that
Mm,
were in the same
Yeah.
mileage vicinity? What
mm.
did she not have anybody close to her?
I
I mean,
don't
it could be circumstantial because
Well,
she,
Lauren Arnold was close to her. Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, no, yeah, that's true. That's
That's
true.
just what makes
Thayer.
me think.
Amanda Thayer.
Yeah, but all these people were super far away. Did she not create close relationships with the people in that city?
Well, my best friend is pretty far away. My two best friends are pretty far away, but I also like have people close to
Oh
me.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I agree with you. Same here. Because I had to when I'm not gonna say my personal shit. I'm not gonna do it. But I've had to call on some close people and they're actually the people that live the furthest away. But I
Yeah,
think that
yeah.
happens
There's
as we
some
get
stuff only
older.
my best friends would do for me that I wouldn't ask
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
friends who, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah. And she says that her and Christina, they knew each other in high school. I saw a
Yeah.
picture, but they
Yeah, you're right. You're
reconnected
right.
through Thrive. And
Yeah.
so I just think that damn Thrive, like she
Yeah.
had like the Thayers who came and got Dieter,
Mhm.
the people who she lived with for a whole freaking year in their basement. Nobody can come live with me for a year, and
Right?
I love you all, but no, you may not stay
Mhm.
here for a year.
Yep.
She didn't talk to her anymore, and so
Right.
I
Yeah.
always am.
She was a maid of
There's
honor in her wedding. She was the only person in her wedding, right?
right,
Yeah.
and her kids were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's why she
Yeah.
moved to California. But to me, there's always something in the underbelly when you find adults who
Yeah.
can't make lasting friendships.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's bizarre.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that.
Well, you guys are making me think about my life, so thank you.
Well, listen, it's also being an adult. You're not a kid anymore, so there's not like an abundance of friends around. But you can you have to, but you have to just like. I mean, you just said you have some close friends, so you're good.
I mean,
As long as you
sometimes
have two.
you can outgrow people and you got,
No,
you and
yeah.
another person can have completely different interests. Like
And sometimes you
I've
should outgrow people.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I've had friendships kind of go on their own paths because
Yeah.
they went
Uh-huh.
on the family settle down and have a family route, and I went the post-secondary
Yes.
education route, and
Yep.
we didn't have anything in
Same.
common anymore.
I'm
Yep.
like
You
the
know?
only one of my kind that does not have children or had a wedding in the last 5 years.
Yeah. And I
So
mean, I
you
did.
get
I got married.
separated.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
got
Yeah.
married and had kids later in life. And when my
Hmm.
marriage blew up and life blew up, those people were still there. We didn't have to talk every day. Like there's
Yeah.
something
Yeah,
between,
yeah.
but but calling these Thrive people, I'm closer to them than my family. They're my
See, that's weird.
family, and it's
Yeah, no,
like,
that's
girl,
bizarre.
stop.
That's
Yeah.
bizarre. Like, I don't know. And it seemed to me, I don't know, it just might be, my thoughts on this, but it's like the people that were in her area seemed almost kind of like skimming the top, kind of shallow, superficial type of high
Stepford
vibe
wife.
type friends. Yeah.
Stepford
Yeah.
wifey.
Yeah. Like the, let's go for an iced coffee neighbor kind of friends, like not like a deep, intellectually kind of, I don't know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
My
no, you
brain's not
make so
right.
much sense, but at the same time, when this happened, look how so much they were involved in. Like, look, here's my camera footage. Here's Nate saying all this stuff, but they weren't close. But
Yeah.
he threw them under the bus real quick. Or not under the bus, but he just said, "Hey, look, here's all this footage." But the other
Mhm.
neighbor, the older lady, was the opposite.
Betsy.
Oh, Betty.
Yes.
Yeah.
Betty,
Yeah,
anybody who
Betty.
works out at 5:15 in the morning tells the truth, and that's just
Yes.
the way it is.
Betty's the champ.
Shoot, at that age, at 34, I can't get myself to do what she does. So good for her.
Yeah, right. That's pretty awesome.
I want to
That'd be
sleep as
the
much as possible.
I know that's right. That would be the dang day I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning to go to the gym. I am hitting snooze and I'm
Yo,
laying here in this bed. You feel me?
yeah. Hell yeah. I didn't even bother to wake up for work one day this week. What are you talking about?
I really need do I really, really need this job? I could live
I
in a
was
box.
just so tired.
So
Oh,
good.
yeah. That was a mistake. Oops, sorry. But I went when I woke up.
Yeah, but we should definitely do like a free for all. Like Chris said, I don't know, I think that's a really, really good idea. I love hearing everyone's different theories and opinions, and I don't know. I think it makes it so interesting. I just love it. And that's the thing I love about true crime the most is there's always new information. Information is always perceived differently. There's always different theories, and someone might say something that gets you thinking. You get your hamster and your wheel running. Like, oh, you know what? I never considered it that way. That makes a lot of sense. I love it. I think it's a really great idea.
Yeah. No, I think that's a great idea too. So I will try to set it up. I just need to see if I can reserve a few emergency vehicles to wait outside just in case.
Oh my goodness. You are crazy.
No, y'all are crazy.
Calm down, man. Go hug a bunny real quick.
Oh,
Okay.
yes, hug a bunny. Oh my gosh. Oh crap, my bunnies are all sorry.
Actually, that should be the logo for your business. Hug a bunny.
Hug a bunny. Hug a bunny.
Aw.
Take a bunny.
Yes, take a bunny.
Just take good care of it.
Build your own bunny.
Yeah, right. All right, guys, I'm gonna get wrapping up because this has been awesome. Thank you guys so much for coming up on panel. So, Chris, Ara, Crime Pod, and yeah, I'm just making sure I didn't miss anybody. But thank you guys so much. It's been a great conversation, and I really very much appreciate you guys. And we
Thank
will.
you for having me.
Yeah, and if you guys
I
want
love you. I'm gonna hop down
love
for
you too,
after
darling.
party.
Thank you. Thank you for everything you're doing. Oh yeah, Ara's gonna have an after party. Damn, you guys are party animals. For anyone who wants to go to the after party, go to Ara's channel after this live. That used to be me. Oh God.
Is there an
Hello, boss
after
lady.
party link either backstage or in the chat?
Yeah,
There
drop
will
the
be
link.
one in the chat. Yeah, somebody will put one in the chat shortly. This is kind of how it goes. Like, I either ask Ara mentions it because she's like, okay, she's like feeling it, and then somebody will put a link in. So
Sounds good to me.
yeah. Well, thank you so much. I'm so glad you came up, Crime Pod. I hope that you you heal well after that surgery. I mean, and I hope that you get some relief from the the problems you were having.
It is crazy. I do not recommend this. I mean, it was necessary, but oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
What's the healing time supposed to be like?
12 weeks.
Oh boy. And
Yeah,
12
I'm
weeks,
not
what does that
thrilled.
mean? Like not doing what for 12 weeks?
Twisting, lifting, bending, living, working.
Oh my God. That is wow.
Sneezing, coughing, you know, everything.
I can keep you plenty busy if you get bored.
Yay!
Oh
And I
my
can come
goodness.
help, but you have to. I can't pay for
You gotta,
groceries.
yeah. You've got to buy her food. No, you can't buy her food. She's got to buy her own food, is what I'm saying.
I can't foot the bill. You have to pay. Come take care of me and buy your groceries.
Oh my goodness. That's so
And cook
funny.
them.
Yes.
That's really, wow. That's really,
Oh my gosh.
I'm kind of,
Ooh,
yeah, I mean, well, yeah.
that would be the day. I can't with that. That's so bold. That's
I
bold.
know. God, I feel like a freaking asshole. I could see like in a moment being like kind of cranky or something and being like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I could imagine it. I could imagine it. I mean, I don't know, just being everything's rubbing you the wrong way. I don't know. And for a moment, you're like, oh, God, you say something kind of like flippant, but then almost immediately thinking twice of it, going, oh my God, I'm a fucking asshole, and taking it back.
But remember, she
Right.
said in her video, Kelly, I sent you 2 videos because I have a emerging theory that I'm pretty confident on. But she
Cool.
did say she had to go off of Thrive, which is caffeine on top of caffeine on top of caffeine. So she had to
Right.
go off of it a week before and a week after her surgery. So I can only imagine the ball of
Oh,
wonderful
caffeine
Christina
crash.
encounter.
Oh yeah, that's true. That is true.
Yikes.
I mean, if she, well, never mind. I'm not gonna say what I want to say.
I know. I feel so dang mean.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait for free for all night.
I will move whatever I need to move, including coming from Hawaii for this one.
Just make sure you feed yourself, okay? Feed yourself. Your next
BYOF.
Keep yourself alive.
Oh my gosh.
What are all these ones and twos about? What are we voting on?
Oh,
It was if we had seen the Miller posts.
Okay, gotcha. What's that?
no, it says I
No,
think it's
it
a vote for a part 2.
to the live. McKay does not. Oh, McKay does not. She's like, no moderators. This is gonna be bad. Oh yeah. All right. I'll get everything going. But in the meantime, I'm actually going to sleep. So everybody
Yes.
needs to do, lock your windows, lock your doors, feed yourself, bitch. And
That's merch, Kelly. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Put it on a
That's
shirt,
merch.
girl.
Right. Leave Jim alone and feed yourself, bitch.
She needs to go to bed so bad. Ooh.
I do. So everyone be nice to each other, but just feed yourself. I gotta go. Bye.
Night, ladies.
And let's just we'll end just hearing from NK.
I guess just call me back when you have a chance. Bye. Hi. It's me. I miss your face. I was just calling to say hi. Call me back.
Thank you so much for coming out here with me, Christopher. I'm having a wonderful time. You mean a lot to me, and I'm glad that you're having a blast. I am so out of breath.
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm really trying to help you guys. I need you guys to help me too. Like,
Yes,
we'll
ma'am.
do this as a team, but just don't.
So
fucking let me down,
the
please.
reason why we can't, like, I did think about this yesterday, that I would like to sit down with you once we have your text messages and the phone calls, and we can put them in a some type of easily looking, that we can sit down and look at them and compare them, and we can kind of get the context of how everything was going that night. I would like to do that with you. Unfortunately, so the download that we got yesterday is going to take multiple days to be analyzed. I probably won't have it back till next week. And then because you guys did have so many text messages, one of my analysts is working on getting those in order, so we can put something together where we can actually sit down and discuss it. But I do think that's something that I want to do in the near future, sometime probably next week.
I mean, I can do that. I don't mind giving you guys my time. I just need you guys to, like, help me with my employer and try to just help me brace for this media thing.
I'm with you. We definitely need to accelerate the case, because the more it takes, the less sure that they are of situations.
He murdered her. She's out of the picture. You're never going to know if she was pregnant. If he can get away with murder, you're not going to. I got divorced from my wife. You say, do you understand what I'm saying here? If she's gone,
But this. Don't lead.
Hypothetically.
Please.
Yeah.
Don't lead
Hypothetically.
on.
If she, you understand where I'm going. If
Right,
you
but
didn't know.
You're leading into questions that are nothing with your.
If you didn't know, though.
Wait, Nick.
That she was there.
Did you hear what I said?
I'm following you.
Stop asking about it. She didn't have anything to do with it. She wasn't there that morning. She voluntarily cooperated with law enforcement. She provided us all the information. I'm not going to tell you where she's at. Stop. Leave me alone.